on the BBC Sounds app, on your smart speaker,
play BBC Radio Surrey,
and on your radio.
The sound of Surrey is
BBC Radio Surrey.
At midday, with your latest BBC News for Surrey and North East Hampshire, I'm Mike Buxton. One of the biggest local football derbies takes place this lunchtime in North East Hampshire. A crowd of some 7,000 will watch Aldershot Town and Woking play for a place at Wembley in next month's FA Trophy final. Woking fan Ben Musgrove says the rivalry just adds to an already supercharged atmosphere.
In English football, there can often be a wait for a team to give you something to cheer for. But when you're at Woking versus Aldershot, the atmosphere is already there. It's part of the occasion and you get drawn into it. People who never sing will be puffing their chest out and giving it everything they've got to represent their colours.
And of course that match gets underway later this hour and we'll have some of the team news in the next few moments. For now though, the Godalming and Ash MP Jeremy Hunt has written to the Minister for Housing and Planning. It's over what he says appears to be the severe injustice of homeowners being charged thousands of pounds in levies after extending their homes. Some residents protested outside Waverley Council on Tuesday after facing unexpected costs following work carried out on their properties. So Keir Starmer is expected to spend the weekend speaking to foreign leaders about import taxes imposed by President Trump. Some of the tariffs have now come into force with a baseline 10% charge hitting goods from the UK and many other nations. Tina McKenzie is from the Federation of Small Businesses and says the US tariffs are a big blow to her members.
The EU is way more important to the British economy, but America is our top individual market, and the stuff we're sending them as well, automotives, equipment, machinery, they're all job heavy in the UK. 60%, 6 in 10 of all small businesses that export in the UK are exporting to the US.
Today is deadline day for anyone wanting to host a street party in Guildford for next month's VE Day commemorations. Guildford Borough Council is waiving fees to encourage people to take part, but the deadline to apply is today. This year marks the 80th anniversary of the end of the Second World War in Europe. So back to the football, and Aldershot Town manager Tommy Widrington has told his players to think about winning and not about reaching Wembley this afternoon. Victory over local rivals Woking will book them a place in next month's FA Trophy final.
It's just our next game. When I mean that, I really do. Of course there's a huge prize on it and I want to win that prize more than anybody else, but ultimately we want to win the whole competition, so it's just the next team in front of us and we're going to have to be as better than we were on Saturday if we're going to win any game, never mind that one.
And our 6-hour Saturday Sports Special gets underway in the next few moments, and we'll also be following AFC Whiteleaf as they take a 3-1 lead to Andover in the FA Vars semi-final second leg. Surrey and North East Hampshire's weather, a dry and sunny afternoon, feeling mild, highs of 18 degrees. You can ask your smart speaker to play BBC News for Surrey.
Sports Special, BBC Radio Surrey.
Yes, Mike, thank you very much for this morning. A very good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another 6-hour sports special from 3. It's the small matter of Premier League action as Brighton and Albion head to their arch rivals, Crystal Palace. But before that, it's a lunchtime kickoff. Woking or Aldershot will book their place in the FA Trophy final at Wembley. Which one will it be?
Saturday Sports.
Shot from Frost into the net and it's done. Game over. 3 minutes to go. Well done, Tyler Frost. He's sealed the deal for the shots. They are going to the semi-finals of the FA Trophy and they're going to within 90 minutes of the big W.
Will Jääskeläinen is taking his own kick.
The chance to be the ultimate hero. So many top saves in the shootout.
Bruce Grobbelaar.
He has the chance to win it. Jääskeläinen left foot in. Into the roof of net. And Woking are into the semi-finals of the FA Trophy. And everyone sprints to Will Jääskeläinen. One of the maddest shootouts you'll see
Yeah, both the cards and the shots just 90 minutes away from May's showpiece non-League Cup finals day at Wembley. The semi-final draw, though, means they must play each other.
We know it's a big game for the fans. We know both teams going to feel it. Rochdale are the same with their game. You've got a chance at Wembley. There's all of them pressures on it, and the fact that the fans want to get one over on arrival. We understand that. My job's to try and get the team out clear, running hard, working hard, and not playing the occasion, playing the actual game that's going on.
I completely want and hope that the outside noise from yourselves, from the fans, throw everything at it. It's the biggest game since, whenever, as far as I'm concerned. But when it comes to Saturday, we've done our due diligence. We know what we'll be trying to do. Obviously, the lads from Woking will want to do what they want to do.
Yeah, full live radio and online commentary for you wherever you are in the world on Aldershot Town versus Woking from a sold-out EBB Stadium from 12:30. AFC Whiteleaf also 90 minutes from Wembley in the FA Vase. Kelly Waterside take a 2-goal lead to Andover New Street.
To get 3 without reply against us, no team's done all season, so that's going to be challenging for them to lose by 2 goals. Not sure we've done that either all season. That's not to be overconfident or cocky about it, but they've got a hell of a job to turn this around. Even if they do get a couple, we can't remember a game where we didn't score.
Our second commentary from 3 sees the Albion after arch rivals Crystal Palace looking to bounce back from cup and league defeats in the past week already and keep that European flame burning.
It's like the whole season we have to deal with setbacks, and it's always about how you come back, and that's what we said, that we have to focus on the things what makes us strong, to understand why we are in this situation, to understand what it needs to win games. And it's about small matches, it's about details.
It's also a huge day for Crawley Town in League One, with Scott Lindsay saying their remaining 6 matches are all cup finals. They're off to Stevenage. Dorking Wanderers chase automatic promotion in National South. We follow Sussex and Surrey's cricketers in the County Championship Day 2. We'll reflect on F1 qualifying at Suzuka. And at 4 o'clock, who's your horse? It's the 2025 Grand National. That's all between now and 6 o'clock in a 6-hour bumper sporting special.
Saturday Sports.
BBC Radio Surrey.
Yeah, it's just one of those very special afternoons. Without further ado, let's bring in our team at the recreation ground this afternoon. Just to warn you, with a 7,000 crowd, it is pulling a bit of the resources from our Wi-Fi dongle. So every now and again, you might miss the odd word that Rob Worrell says. Most of it's not worth listening to anyway, so don't worry. But Rob, a very, very good afternoon. Those who don't
Thank you for that.
Those who don't know the recreation grounds, I think Steve Gibbs described it as a quaint old lady of North East Hampshire. It's a special ground, isn't it? And give us a feel for how it looks this afternoon. About to be full, Rob Worrell.
Yeah, it's close to full already. I can't remember a game where supporters from both sides got here so early. It's a beautiful, sunny spring Saturday in North East Hampshire. Probably the quietest area of the ground at the moment is the director's box away to the left of me, because obviously 1 or 2 of those people will be enjoying some refreshments inside the building. But then beyond that, I look away to my left and see the wonderful scenes of the East Bank, which is packed to the rafters where it can be. You've got that little no man's land filled with flags, but lots of supporters at both ends, both sides of it, decked out in red and blue for Aldershot, and of course yellow today for Woking. We're expecting about 1,400 Cards fans, and some of those have packed into the back of the East Bank for the maximum decibels, if you like, and 1 or 2 others stood out embracing the sunshine on the open slab. And then of course that final section of the old bird, the South Stand over on the far side. 4 sections, 3 of them for shots, 1 of them for. Then you've got your opposite end slab, and then the end that's had the most work done on it over the years. It used to be a 3-sided ground. It's the kindest thing I can say now is it isn't quite that. You've got the Mike Pusey community stand now behind the goal away to our left, with 5 or 6 rows of seating, and still a little bit of standing area in front of the porter cabins on the other half of the ground, underneath the scoreboard. Everywhere else along this north stand, either side of the media box and the director's box, it will be rammed. In the front with seating, in the back with people standing, and an incredible atmosphere here already, Tim, for this occasion, which is just bonkers really when you think about it. It's a local derby, so take your Boxing Day and then put the icing on the cake and make it the semi-final of the FA Trophy, with Wembley being the prize.
Well, in a moment, Rob's going to have a little chat with... We have two summarisers this afternoon, one with a Woking hat on, one with a Shots hat on. But first, Rob, the all-important team news. Which 2 11s have the managers gone for this afternoon?
Well, I tell you what, if there's one thing that also can't be separated today, it's the nous and the canniness of the two managers who've been there and seen it and done it. Hardly more so, in fairness, in Cup semi-finals and finals as a manager, but both managers have made 6 changes today. So whatever they told you in the week about that being the next game and the most important game, they had their minds on this one, and they've both made 6 changes. So for the Shots, I'm not going to run through all those, we'll be here forever, although we are here for 6 hours anyway. Dewhurst in goal, the 3 youngsters, all loanees, all under the age of 21 at the back for Shots: Luca Woodhouse, Dan Ellison and Will Armitage. And then Tyler Frost not involved in the last 2 games. They've kept him wrapped up in cotton wool, but he will start on the left side of midfield for the Shots, we think, this afternoon, with Cameron Hargreaves and Theo Widrington in the middle, Aaron Jones the skipper on the right side, and then Ryan Jones, old Twinkle Toes himself, playing behind Jack Barham and Josh Barrett up with top. As for the Cards, they make 6 changes too. In goal, the ever-reliable Will Jääskeläinen. Across the back 4, left to right, Tariq Hines, Tunji Akinola, Timmy Odesina and Dan Moss. And then we think Dale Gorman will really sit in front of that defence, with on the left of him Frank Vincent, on the right of him Harry Beautyman, of course, in great goal scoring and great penalty form of late, and Jamie Andrews. And then up top, Ini Effiong as expected, and Lewis Walker will play off of him. There's a story in itself, Ini Effiong, perhaps heading towards the twilight of his career now, but a player who has only got better with age, like a fine wine. And today, as you heard him say in the build-up there, he don't care too much about the fact that he's playing against his opposition. He's just got one sight and one focus, Tim, and that's on steering Woking to victory today.
Well, if you'd like to introduce your 2 summarisers, it's best if you chat amongst yourselves, I think, because you've got 2 microphones and 3 geniuses. I'll let you work it out.
Oh, very good. I like that, Tim. Well, initially we're going to speak with Ian Nicholson, veteran of calling many matches for the BBC alongside the likes of Gav Dennison, more often Tom Mitchell these days as well, and John Moore heavily involved, and often sits here on Boxing Day. But Ian, welcome, not to our first commentary together, but to our first Aldershot Woking game together here at the EBB.
Yeah, it's not my first Aldershot Woking game here. I've been in the away end many times, but absolutely great occasion. I'm pumped for the occasion. In one sense, regardless of the result, I think it's just, you just have to be here and see the enthusiasm that non-league fans have for their clubs. And I was meeting with some of the Aldershot fans earlier, having a bit of banter and what have you, and then seeing the Woking fans in all their yellow. I mean, it's a great day. It's a sunny day as well, and I just think this is a great advert for football at this level.
Woking's history is rich. It's littered with FA Trophy success, isn't it? 3 times winners, seeking to be the only team. Well, you're already Woking in terms of the only team still going that's won the FA Trophy 3 times, but seeking to make it your own with a 4th win. My question to you now is this: will that empower you? Will that increase the belief today for Woking, or can that be a burden?
I don't think it will be a burden. I think it will be an added factor, but I think really it's about the day, and those days in the 90s and the Amateur Cup win in the 50s were all just great days marked in Woking history. And Jeff Chappell, I think you mentioned earlier, is here today, who was manager of all those teams in the 90s. So those were great days, and today will be today, but it would be lovely to get clear with four wins, although I understand that the other 2 teams that are on 3 wins are actually now defunct, so Woking are there, but But no, I think it'll be a big day, and what will be on today's performance.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so exciting that one of our teams in the BBC Surrey camp are going to Wembley. So there'll be some nerves elsewhere today on how Whiteleaf get on. They're 3-1 up in the FA Vars. It's all on the same day, non-league finals day.
Yeah.
And some thoughts as well, if we come from the Aldershot camp now. I'm neutral today. That's your thoughts on Woking. Steve, you don't have to be neutral. You can be partial. Aldershot Town, you've talked about this lovely old ground, and we described that in the build-up. But what about the fact that Aldershot have never progressed beyond this stage? Tommy Whittington's tried with his build-up to keep focused on it's just the next game. Yeah. But he knows what the prize is and just how big it is. And many other people that we both know so well, it's the one remaining dream as an Aldershot fan, isn't it?
It is, absolutely, yeah. Seeing the team return to the Football League in April 2008 was a momentous occasion, a hugely emotional occasion, but I've always wondered what would my reaction be seeing the red and blue walking out at the National Stadium. I can only imagine what it would be, professionally, personally. Having supported this team for 37 years, there are people who have been waiting far longer than I to see the Shots walk out at Wembley, and I can guarantee there are grown men who would cry at that vision, and I probably count myself at one of them. But yeah, it's whatever football does to you, whatever level you're at, it's still special. We saw the reaction of Newcastle United just a few weeks ago, a team with global resources who hadn't managed to get there for 50 years virtually, and hadn't won anything for many years before that. That's the scale that Wembley still means. It still has that aura about it. It still carries that kudos. And yes, Aldershot Town are one of a dwindling number of clubs that you can probably count these days on virtually one hand who have never played under that arch or under the Twin Towers as it was. It would be momentous, and if today is one of the biggest games in Aldershot Town's history, I think that would take it up several notches further.
Thank you very much, Steve Gibbs. Just a little footnote. All these people that tell you Aldershot Town have never been to Wembley, they have. They played Wembley FC, didn't they, back
and I was I was there for that.
Yeah, and Steve was there. That was somewhere then we now know in the last 37 years, Tim. Listen, just before I hand back to you or carry on the conversation with you, you'll probably have picked up on the sound effects microphone just how boisterous the atmosphere is. While we've been talking, both sets of players have left the pitch. One of them, as you will have heard, to an ovation, and the other one booed from this side of the ground anyway, but applauded over on the far side by those 1,400 Cards fans decked out in yellow. We got yellow balloons already just bobbing around the East Bank end. I'm sure there'll be more to follow. I'm sure there'll be confetti as well when the teams come out, but for the moment we're 12-13 minutes away from kick-off, and the atmosphere's building nicely. The biggest games here in recent years, Tim, Steve reliably informs me that when Aldershot Town played Manchester United in the Carling Cup in 2011, it didn't actually quite sell out. How on earth that happened, I don't know. So the last time this place was fully packed to the rafters was 25 years ago, when non-league Aldershot at that time took on Brighton and Hove Albion. We won't mention the result of that, of course, but it was a big occasion, Tim, and this is the biggest since then in terms of this ground being packed to the rafters.
You know, we're all getting on a bit, Rob. I was sports editor for both those games. It's ridiculous, isn't it? I interviewed the last person who got the last ticket for the Man United game, so that one does confuse me. I was standing in the queue and reporting live, but anyway, Gibbo is never wrong, so that suits me. Let's hear how both teams got through to today, through their quarter-finals. The Shots coming through away to the lowest side left in the competition, Sittingbourne FC.
Barnes switched on the afterburners to run after that, and he's battling for it, and he's got it inside the edge of the area. He pulls it back to Ryan Jones. He's got it on his feet and shoots, scores! Ryan Jones on the stroke of half-time puts the Shots ahead. Wonderful hold-up play and run-in from Jack Barham. Header towards goal, and it's in. It's Will Armitage who scores with a header. He didn't get a lot on it, but he found the corner of the net and he scores his first ever Aldershot Town goal. The Shots now with 1 foot in the semi-final. Here come the Shots. Shot from Frost into the net and it's done. Game over. 3 minutes to go. Well done, Tyler Frost. He's sealed the deal for the Shots. They are going to the semi-finals of the FA Trophy and they're going to within 90 minutes of the big W.
So a comfortable win for the Shots. Anything but for Woking. They also went away to lower non-leagues opposition but needed late heroics to squeeze past Oxford City.
Andrews low ball in, flick for O'Brien, looping towards that post, headed in! Idiot Young with the goal finally! Puts it into the back of the net, and Woking with a stoppage time equaliser. It is game on here at the Andrews Stadium.
Coyle now puts the ball down on the spot, and the Woking fans doing everything to try and put the Oxford number 7 off. Takes a deep breath, calls, penalty saved from Jaskalainen down to his left-hand side. Advantage Woking in the penalty shootout. So Ini Effiong, can he add another goal to his list? No, he can't. Ini Effiong has his penalty saved. He went to the keeper's left. A strong hand for Kai Mackenzie-Lyle. Next up is Corey Andrews, Oxford's third penalty of the shootout. Andrews, right-footed, over the bar! Awful penalty by Corey Andrews. That one almost went out the ground. Huge relief for the Woking fans behind the goal. Jamie Andrews, deep breath, left-footed. Andrews, he can't tuck it into the bottom corner. Denied by Kai Mackenzie-Lyle. Both goalkeepers standing up for their sides in this shootout. So a chance for Oxford to put the pressure on Woking. Penalty saved for Jaskalainen. Unbelievable. It was Tom Scott who stepped up. This is incredible stuff. Will Jaskalainen at it again?
And someone please score a penalty.
Dion Kelly-Evans steps up right-footed. He puts it wide. It's still one apiece. And still we go on to form from the spot. Denied by Jaskalainen. Unbelievable. So Woking with the chance to win it.
Will Jaskalainen is taking his own kick.
The chance to be the ultimate hero. So many top saves in the shootout.
Bruce Grobbelaar.
He has the chance to win it. Jaskalainen left-footed. Into the roof of the net. And Woking are into the semi-finals of the FA Trophy. And everyone sprints to Will Jaskalainen. One of the maddest shootouts you'll see with the amount of misses. But Will Jaskalainen showed how it's done there. It's the roof now with his left foot to send Woking into the semi-finals of the FA Trophy.
What a penalty shootout. I'm reliably informed that Rob has his penalty grid already if required. Lord, I'm not sure I could take that. Well, when it comes to the Shots versus Woking in the FA Trophy, there is only one man to talk to. Steve's already mentioned him. Jeff Chappell, a Shots fan as a boy, stood on the terraces opposite where Rob is sat right now as a lad, came through their academy. He then managed Woking for 13 glorious years, winning 3 FA Trophy titles with the Cards at Wembley, 2 of course with Kingstonian as well. He spoke to James Cannon this week.
I'd love this game to have been at Wembley. I was very disappointed when that draw came out because it would have been so good. Aldershot have never been to Wembley. All right, Woking have been there, won it 3 times, but it would have been a lovely final. But here we are, we've got to get on with it. And it's one of those where you really can't count current form. It's just whoever wants it bad enough for me on the day.
What's the FA Trophy mean to you? You've got real skin in the game here, Jeff.
Oh, it means everything because I think it's slightly been devalued in the last 3 or 4 seasons, which is a shame. I understand that clubs all want to get into the EFL. That's very understandable. But the trophy itself, it's a wonderful competition. It did so much for Woking. I know that when we won it, it put Woking on the map. I mean, tomorrow, as you mentioned earlier, you got a 7,000 crowd, the bulk of which will be behind Aldershot, being at home. Woking fans will make an awful lot of noise. There'll be lots of colour, but it's one it's hard to predict. Both teams have injuries. Probably Woking got a few more than Aldershot, and Woking, as we know, got players that are cup tied, as have Aldershot. So all to play for, and very difficult. It's 90 minutes, no extra time, of course, straight to penalties, and I wouldn't be surprised to see penalties.
What an afternoon we have in store. One of my old producers is listening. He's gardening in Reigate. Ben Fletcher says, fantastic show. Thank you, Ben. Think shots will edge it, but hope springs eternal. He is a Cards fan. But we are ever neutral today. We have the Woking Ian Nicholson, the Aldershot Steve Gibbs, and the purely neutral Rob Worrell this afternoon. We are live from the EBB Stadium, 7,000 shoehorned in to the Grand Old Lady of North East Hampshire. One of these sides is off to Wembley. One for a 5th time in their history, a 4th time in the trophy. One for the 1st time ever. History beckons. It's a very good afternoon to Ian Nicholson, to Steve Gibbs, and once again to Rob Worrell.
Thank you so much, Tim, for setting this up. What a delight it is to be here today to bring this to our BBC Surrey listeners, to our online BBC listeners, to those on the BBC Sport app, and to those who paid for the live stream watching it on NLTV on the DAZN platform. Anybody who's ever been anything to do with Aldershot and Woking is here today. Former shot skipper Lewis Kinsella is here as a guest. We've already mentioned, of course, Jeff Chappell, Terry Brown, of course, the Aldershot Town Director of Football, for want of a better description, has very good friendships and relationships with Neil Ardley and Simon Bassey, who are the Woking management team today. Former players are listening. Josh Stokes, good afternoon to you, and your father Mark Stokes listening on the way to your game today. It's absolutely packed here at the EBB, standing sitting room only, wherever you can find a space, really. I can't see one. Oh, I can see two seats over on the far side. Quick, somebody grab them. The sun's out, we've got clear blue skies. This is how you would dream an occasion like this would be. And all we're missing now are the teams. A reminder that both sides have made 6 changes today from their midweek games in the National League. Woking coming back with a late-ish penalty, a Harry Beautyman penalty to get a point against Rochdale, and they hit the post, the foot of the post in the final minutes. They could have won that one. The shots up against Fylde, fighting for their lives, gave them a torrid first half hour, but the shots stayed in the game and scored towards the end of both halves to complete a 2-0 win and rise to 12th place in the National League. The Cards sit 18th in the league, but for today, at least, Ian, everybody concerned can forget just for a couple of days about the National League. It's all about the FA Trophy. It's all about the prize on offer for winning a game of football today. And sorry, Ian, here come the teams. The shots led out by skipper Aaron Jones in their red and blue striped shirts, red shorts and red socks. And Woking led out by Dale Gorman, wearing yellow shirts, blue shorts and blue socks. What an atmosphere. We've got pyrotechnics here as well. You might hear the waves, the warmth and the waves of those 6 pyrotechnics there that formed their part in the Guard of Honour for both sides, who are shaking hands. Now let's run through the teams and then we'll get a little bit more thought on them from our 2 summarisers today, Ian Nicholson of Woking and Steve Gibbs of Aldershot Town. So, for the shots, 6 changes from Tuesday's win. Dewhurst in goal, Woodhouse, Ellison and Armitage the back 3. Frost, Hargreaves, Widrington and Aaron Jones the midfield left to right. Ryan Jones will support Jack Barham and Josh Barrett in attack. For Woking, Jaska Leinen in goal, Hines, Akinola, Odesina and Moss are your back 4 left to right. Dale Gorman holding the midfield, and then Frank Vincent, Jamie Andrews and Harry Beautyman in midfield with Lewis Walker and Ini Effiong up top. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Aldershot Town mascots there. The eldest can't be more than 10 or 11 years old. Love to see that. The supporters of the future. But Ian, the supporters of today and yesteryear, they're all here now. What an occasion awaits us. What your thoughts on the Woking lineup?
Yeah, I think the Woking lineup in some ways is needs must. There are a few injuries, particularly missing Matt Ward and Denon Lewis, who are the wide men out wide, and also most of the changes today have been enforced through people being cup tied. Lone players who've come in and done really well and been cup tied. And obviously Dan Moss comes back in. So it's I think it's the best that the Woking could get today, with also I think it's intriguing to have Aidan O'Brien on the bench, who's played 200 games for Millwall and is a class player at the tail end of his career, so a little bit injury prone, but he's back in the mix today, which could feature later in the game. But no, what this Woking side has shown in Neil Ardley's era has been a lot of draws, but very hard to beat, and I think that could be a key today.
All right, and just a moment, we'll get Steve's thoughts on the Aldershot team, but we're ready to get going here. And Woking have got kick-off. They'll be kicking towards the East Bank end in the first half and towards their own fans. And Aldershot will be kicking towards the Mike Pusey community stand at the other end. Just as soon as the ball goes into touch, we'll get your thoughts, Steve, on the Aldershot team. We're underway. Out it goes to the left-hand side. Armitage rises with Effiong. Both of them come back and try and get it at the second attempt. And then eventually Walker sends it back to Andrews. Walker out to the left side to Tariq Hines. And then a good clearance into touch from Will Armitage. Throw in an attacking position on the left side to Woking, and immediately Andrews has got it. They're setting up for a long one. Effiong's up there. He'll probably be the main target. In it comes. Ellison rises above all to head clear. Gorman picks up the loose ball. Still inside the first minute here. And then Tariq Hines sends a high ball out to the right-hand side. Luca Woodhouse jumps and wins it in the air, but he can only knock it down to Moss. Moss plays it to Frank Vincent, another one who's worn the red and blue of Aldershot Town. Here's a ball forward down the right side. Ellison jumps, can't win it cleanly. Walker comes off his chest. Handball called for, nothing given. Aldershot clear it away to half-time. It's going to find touch. And Steve Gibbs, finally I can give you a chance to comment on the Aldershot Town team, which very nearly we got right with our predictions. But Tyler Frost, not involved in the last two games, comes back in, and James Henry will need to be a finisher.
Yeah, I think there was maybe only a couple of positions up for grabs. I think Tyler Frost's work rate and versatility is a welcome addition back to this team. Ryan Jones at number 10 will cause Woking all sorts of problems. And then absolutely the wily old campaigner, Aldershot Town's talisman, James Henry, is the ultimate impact substitute. I think the two lineups reinforce Aldershot Town's slight favouritism. I'd put them maybe 60-40 chances to win this game. I think Matt Ward's rumours of his return being exaggerated have tipped it a little bit back in the Shot's favour.
Thank you very much. That's Steve Gibbs, the former Aldershot Town media officer. Here's Woodhouse playing the ball up to Barrett, turns it around the corner, half cleared, and Frost will get onto it on the left hand side. Goes back to Cameron Hargreaves, who now gives it back to him. Slight slip from Ryan Jones, but he's back onto it. He finds Barrett running around the edge of the penalty area, sends a ball in, headed away by Gorman, chested down by Lewis Walker. He's under close attention from Theo Widrington. And free kick given, taken quickly out to the right hand side. Effiong chases it, a couple of red balloons in front of him. He's to the penalty area now, he's trying to make his way in for the shot. Sends it over the bar. Dewhurst put hands up, but I don't think he connected. And it rises no more than a foot over the bar. An early show of intent from the former shot, Innie Effiong, Ian Nicholson.
Yeah, typical Innie Effiong there, and he as Aldershot fans will know as well as Woking fans, he blows a bit hot and cold. He has games where he doesn't really do a huge amount and others where he's on fire, and certainly Woking fans will be hoping today that it's the latter, but he cut inside there well, connected well, and sailed just over the bar.
Great quick thinking from Dale Gorman to take that free kick so quickly and get Effiong in. And a word on the managers. We mentioned that they've both been so canny in the build-up, very respectful, of course, to each other. The two sides played out a 2-2 draw here on Boxing Day, where Neil Ardley was only his second game in charge, and he conceded that Aldershot were the better team on the day, but he loved the way his side battled and stayed in the game and got themselves a point, something they've done a number of times since. Tommy Widrington suited today, and Ardley track suited. Tommy Widrington stood, Ardley sat. Is a 1-2, slightly misplaced, but Walker does well to get onto it, and then offside given against Woking as Theo Widrington cuts out the attack anyway.
Positive start from Woking, a couple of decent attacks there.
And they look calm and composed, don't they? To be fair, I think both managers have done a good job with their sides. Tommy Widrington said, let all the outside noise be loud, that's fine. Inside, we're just going to focus on trying to win the next game, and I'm sure Neil Ardley's approach has been much the same. We're now 4.5 minutes in here in this FA Trophy semi-final, local derby, the Hampshire-Surrey derby between Aldershot Town and Woking. Here's Moss clearing the ball forward. Effiong rises, but Woodhouse will win that in the air. It's helped on by Widrington, headed back by Odusina, and then picked up by Tyler Frost on halfway. Barrett goes back to Cameron Hargreaves. He's going to switch it out now to the right side. No, and then flicked back inside off his shoulder by Aaron Jones, but it's been well read and picked up by Walker. Walker tries to get the ball in. Aaron Jones makes the tackle, slices it behind, corner to the cards, and Lewis Walker relishing his inclusion in the Woking start-up today.
Yeah, he's done very well in recent weeks. He's probably not scored as many goals as would be hoped, but in the last few weeks he's looked very lively coming on as a substitute, and good running, good energy, and complementing Effiong quite well.
Okay, 1 or 2 balloons still on the pitch, some red ones, some blue ones, the odd yellow one. The yellow ones have drifted off on the wind in a slightly different direction. But we are still inside the 6th minute. Woking have the first corner of the game, and Gorman's in it comes. Headed away at the near post by Tyler Frost. Oh, lovely touch from Ryan Jones, and then a good recovery from Odusina. Ball into Hargreaves, and Aldershot could have had 4-on-4, but it just escaped the clutches of the Aldershot player, and now Effiong drifts onto it on the left side. He's up against Armitage, shifts back onto his right foot again, sends it into the middle, and Dewhurst clutches it into his midriff. And it remains 0-0, but what a lively start, Ian, to the game. 6.5 minutes in, 0-0, and no doubt the Cards have settled well.
They have settled well, but it's been a very quick start, as you say, and with a lively crowd, you've got no chance to really settle here. It's just full on and frenetic.
Dewhurst prepares to take the goal kick, and he's well outside his area now, goes down the right side. Akinola up, wins it, heads it into touch. Aldershot now with the attacking throw. Aaron Jones, the skipper, there ready to take it. He put his hand up to acknowledge after that corner, by the way, that he shouldn't have given the ball away the way he did in the lead up to it. Here he is getting the return ball from Jones to Widrington. Widrington's shut down by Jamie Andrews. Has always been a wonderful player when I've seen him play. He played in that Woking against Ratcliffe FA Trophy side, that game that I commentated on before. And there is a downward header from Akinola. Barham thought it was a corner. Assistant referee having done it. 7.5 minutes gone. Steve, if I can ask you a question. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, in the stadium here. A number of big games over a number of years for Aldershot. When they really pack it out, it hasn't gone their way, has it?
It hasn't, no. They've been at the FA Trophy semi-final position before. Big league games. I remember one against Macclesfield that was not quite a title decider, but pretty close. And yeah, Aldershot Town haven't turned up. They need to today, but Woking have started by far the quicker and by far the better team.
Effiong's shot has sliced off wide, but it's going to be sent back into the area now, and Effiong manages to get his head on it, up with Armitage, but he couldn't get any real purchase on it, and it goes wide behind the goal. But 2 or 3 half chances already in the game, 8.5 minutes in. It's 0-0, but it's the Cards, and it's in particular one of their former shots, Ini Effiong, who looks in the mood. And when that guy is in the mood, supporters of both sets of fans know just how strong he can be.
Yeah, he can be unplayable, and other games, with all due respect to anyone listening is related to Ini Effiong, that sometimes he doesn't look like he's a footballer.
Here's a ball out to the left. Frost can't quite take it under control.
But on other games he can be unplayable.
He can. It's going to be a throw into Woking in the right back position. This is just the beginning of a 6-hour sports programme today. You're listening to us at the moment on BBC Surrey, via the BBC Sport app, online, or watching the stream on DAZN. Another header into touch by Aldershot, another throw in to the Cards, halfway inside their own half, Ian.
Rob, you watch Aldershot a lot. I mean, the perception of Aldershot is they have a lot of goals in them, but can also concede quite a few. I mean, I saw at the Absolute game the other week. Is that fair?
It is fair. They've actually become now the 4th top scorers in the National League this year, which is a staggering fact when you think they lost over 60 goals. Tolaj, Stokes, Harries from the penalty spot, of course, with his 8 last season, and Ryan Glover as well, 7. He's turned that into double figures at Barnet this year. And looking at all the stats coming into this, in the last 20-21 games, both sides have only lost about 3 games. They've really made themselves hard to beat. But it is the Shots who've been more free scoring, if you like. But Woking, the ability to pick up a point or points when you're not playing at your best. Here's a ball in from Barrett, which is headed wide. Ryan Jones gets there and diverts it into the path of Aaron Jones, who gives it back to him. He's up against Tariq Hines now. He skips past one. He then skips past Aaron Jones, and he skips past Walker, and he clips a little ball up. That's headed away, and it comes off the referee from Walker. So Woking will restart with possession on the edge of their own penalty area, and we are 10.5 minutes in already. Bright spring sunshine. It's not particularly a warm day, certainly not under the roof here at the moment anyway, but it's certainly a clear day. Here's a big clearance from the back from Woking, missed by met by the head of Frost and helped on by Gorman to Moss, who turns it round the corner, and it is kept in by Frank Vincent, who's playing on the right actually, something we weren't too sure about before the game. Here's Theo Widrington arrowing a ball out to the left, and again Tyler Frost couldn't quite take it under control. Spoke to Tyler on the walk down from the car park today. He said it's a big game. He hasn't felt like this since he was playing in a cup final for his Sunday team, and so it just shows you they're all human, you know.
They love players, even the ones that, playing in front of quite a hostile crowd. They love these occasions.
Absolutely. And for those of us best to be involved on the media side, there's a coming together, quite innocuous I think, involving Woodhouse. He's down, Ellison clears, and then he's caught, and eventually the ball is in touch, and I think it's just going to be a throw, nothing more. Woodhouse holding his arms out to our referee, who's Aaron Bannister, by the way, this afternoon. 12 minutes very nearly gone. Aldershot Town 0, Woking 0, and after a very bright start from the Cards, it's just settled down a little bit. Looking down at the away dugout there, the very familiar face of Simon Bassey, another who's got history with both clubs. Here's a ball into the feet of Barrett. Barrett will square it to Theo Widrington now, and he'll fire it out wide to Aaron Jones. He's going to try the early cross. That cannons off the body of Harry Beautyman. What a professional he is, what form he's been in of late, and how many points he's steered the Cards to. Into touch, throw in, taken by Aaron Jones, back to Barrett, exemplary control, and back to Jones, now back to Barrett, onto his left foot, thinks about dropping a ball in, there's not a lot in there. Jones to Widrington, Barrett's pulled down edge of the box, no foul given. Play on, says the referee. Aldershot have won it back meantime. Theo Widrington gets the ball, feeds it back to Aaron Jones. He finds Cameron Hargreaves, and Hargreaves spreads it further left to Luca Woodhouse. Barrett is up and okay, and now Widrington clips a ball forward. Barham gets a little flick on, it's just too heavy for Barrett to get onto. Jaskalainen comes to the edge of his area to collect, and walks to the edge of his area. 13 and very nearly a half minutes gone here in North East Hampshire, where we've got a Surrey Hampshire derby, and it just happens to be in the semi-final of the FA Trophy. Woking looking to get to Wembley again, 3 times winners of the FA Trophy, and Aldershot looking to boldly go where they've never gone before. Here's Aldershot on the left with Frost. Sends a ball down the left. He's looking for Ryan Jones, but it's just gonna... In fact, it didn't find touch. It was Odesina who helped it on its way into touch. It will be a throw-in to the shots halfway inside the Woking half. Frost is going to take it. Plenty of noise from both sets of fans. Some of the early boisterousness has just given way, I think, to a little bit of tension, hasn't it, Ian?
I have to say, the East Bank is one of the best atmospheres in non-league football.
Old school, isn't it? Proper
really
old
great.
School. Aaron Jones down the right side. Ryan Jones competing, is into the penalty area, and he's just about to shoot, and Tariq Hines puts it behind for a corner. The quickest feet in the Aldershot team momentarily hesitated there, and I think he thought he had more time than he had, Ryan Jones.
Hines is pretty swift himself, and Akinola gesturing that he thought he was brought down there, and that creates that opening, but just shows how tense and tight this game is, particularly with the referee. No margin for error.
No margin at all. The ball is put behind by Hines for Aldershot Town's first corner of the game. Just into the 16th minute, Josh Barrett sends it in. Luca Woodhouse with a header, wide. 0-0. And just pass the microphone, if you would, to Steve for a second for me, Ian. How did you see that Ryan Jones chance? For me, I think he was just setting himself. He was composed. He was slowing it down, ready to shoot. And I don't think he realised Hines was...
no, I don't think he was. I think he, waiting to set himself, trying to draw the goalkeeper, wait until the last minute and try and make Jääskeläinen make the decision for him. But Hines did really well to track back. I think Ryan was also expecting the whistle to blow for a foul in the build-up. When that didn't come, he wasn't quite ready to pull the trigger, and you've always got to play to the whistle.
Here's good defensive header from Timmy Odesina. Finds Moss, who sends it down the right side, and what a tackle from Luca Woodhouse, who comes around Walker almost as surprisingly as Hines did Ryan Jones at the other end. And Walker, who's no slouch at all, was preparing for his next touch. Luca Woodhouse went to ground in and around the edge of the penalty area and made clear contact with the ball, steered it back towards his goalkeeper, who's now got the ball at the edge of his area and sends it forward. Barham will jump. He's just coming together there with Akinola, and I think there was a bit of nous, a bit of cleverness from Barrett. The ball runs through anyway. The referee doesn't have to make a decision, but had he needed to, I think he would have given the infringement against Barham. What was your take, Ian Nicholson?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's an intriguing...
knockdown, but F. Young almost gets onto it. It's headed wide, and then a heavy touch from Vincent. That's just going to drift out of play, and it will be a goal kick. Sorry, Ian.
To end, isn't it? One end and then straight to the other. But I think it's an intriguing contest really between Akinola and Barrett, and as you say there, I think it probably would have gone the Woking way, but then it was straight up the other end, and Vincent couldn't quite get on the end of that loose ball. But exciting and interesting enough start, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And regardless of who progresses today from our two BBC Surrey sides that we cover week in, week out, what you want is, you want the crowd, you want the weather, you want the occasion, and then you want the game to match. And I think it's promising, isn't it? The first 17 and a half minutes, 0-0, but both sides fully signalling their intent to get forward when they can. Here's Woking clearing away from the back. Good headed winner from Luca Woodhouse, but that will be picked up by Dan Moss. Gets a little shove in the back from Barrett. Referee doesn't see that as an infringement, and Frost continues down the left side. Inside now to Barrett. Barrett into Ryan Jones. Looks to give it back to him. He gives it back to Jones. Jones back out wide to Tyler Frost, and he sends in an early cross. Aaron Jones tries to get up to head it back across, but Beautyman gets the glancing header in front of him, and it'll be a second corner of this FA Trophy semi-final to Aldershot Town. What a Saturday afternoon of sport we've got for you on BBC Surrey and Sussex. We got the big Brighton Crystal Palace game at Selhurst Park later. We've got Stevenage against Crawley, and we've got Whiteleaf going in the semi-final second leg. In comes the corner from Barrett. Little flick off the head of Effiong. Back there doing the job he needs to do. Finds Gorman. Gorman sends it up the line looking for a return. Cameron Hargreaves heads it into touch. Throw into Woking, 10 yards inside their own half.
I think what we're seeing already is that Aldershot, when they get the ball, get possession, come forward, they're creative, they pass to feet, but also you can see why Woking have been pretty hard to beat. They're a very disciplined defence, covering their men, and then their attacks have become more directly, really, with balls to Effiong and Walker.
There's a clearance forward from Frost. Will bounce once and fine touch over on the far side in front of the slab, the open slab. Not seen that so packed, or any area in this stadium so packed in years. So many players, of course, that can't be involved today because they're cup tied. Keane Anderson sat down there, youngster for Aldershot, following the footsteps of his father, been superb in the last 3 or 4 games for the Shots, but is cup tied. He was at Havant and Waterlooville. And great to see before the game Hadi Gandor, who took a full training session earlier in the day. He's a couple of months ahead of schedule, and he's only a week or so away from being involved again with Aldershot. Hadi Gandor, after another, albeit brief, loan spell at Farnborough this year. Right, Dewhurst bowls it out to Luca Woodhouse. He's going to send it across the midfield. Hargreaves recognises the pace on it was too strong. It wasn't meant for him. It does find Widrington, Jones and Armitage. As now Barham looks to get involved inside the area. And great play from the number 16, Akinola. As Barham looked to have taken the better position, he managed to find enough room down the side of Barham to poke the ball back to his goalkeeper. And a few shouts for back pass there. There's surely a foul on Will Armitage from Ini Effiong. Knows every trick in the book. He wrote some of them, didn't he? A few years ago. Shots in possession again inside their own half. Aaron Jones sends it down the line. Akinola gets there, but it's a poor, weak header. Barrett picks it up. Barrett tries a back heel towards Ryan Jones and then overhits it slightly. Buteman clears it forward. Armitage under pressure from Akinola, who's bullied his way back onto it. Armitage back in there. Ellison goes to ground, wins the 50-50. Ryan Jones sends it to Hargreaves, who picks it up. Just about to switch on those afterburners and then sends it back to Luca Woodhouse. What an intriguing start. We're very nearly halfway through the first half. Frost recovers his touch there and sends it back to Luca Woodhouse. Shots not finding too many gaps at the moment in the Woking defence and being a little bit more direct than they normally are today. We might get Steve Gibbs' thoughts on that in just a minute. Is Ellison playing it through the middle? Cleared away by Hines. Zanny finds Andrews. Widrington comes over. Good strength from Aaron Jones. He's going to send a ball over the top, looking for Barham. Barham can't get there. Frost may now get there in front of Vincent. He'll play it back to Cameron Hargreaves on the edge of the final third now. Aldershot. Theo Widrington back out to Frost. Gives it first time to Ryan Jones. Slightly heavy touch, keeping it in down by the corner flag. Wrestle past his man. Then he puts his hands on the back of that man, which I think was Dale Gorman.
Yeah, great work by Gorman there, just to cover the ball and then draw the foul.
That's it. That's Ian Nicholson, also alongside Ian today is the former Shots media officer Steve Gibbs. And Steve, halfway through the first half, how are you seeing it? Pretty even now, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. I think Woking are still able to get into the Aldershot final third a little bit easier, a little bit quicker, as Ian said, a little bit more direct, whereas Aldershot Town are having to string 3, 4, 5 passes to get into that final third, and Woking are proving how well organised they are, how hard to beat they are, by looking a really, really tight, compact unit. And Aldershot Town at the moment showing a little bit of creativity, but not yet broken through.
Strong header from Aaron Jones. Barham flicks it on, but he can't find Barrett. It's half cleared. Andrews sticks out a foot and lobs it out to the halfway line where it finds touch. Aaron Jones takes the throw quickly, helped on by Ryan Jones, flicked on by Barham, cleared away by Odesina, headed back in and then headed back to the keeper Jaskalainen. 23 and a half minutes gone, 0-0. Ian Nicholson.
The pitch isn't the easiest either, is it? And I'm speaking as following Woking, where Woking's pitch also has really cut up very badly this year, but it makes the bounce, it can be a little bit unpredictable.
It certainly can. Here's Luca Woodhouse onto a ball. In fact, it runs across him and Frank Vincent gets there in front of him. He looks to respond. Woodhouse now out of position as Gorman sends it down the right side for Effiong to chase. He's under close proximity from Ellison. Ellison, has he had a touch on it or not? It's a throw in. Well done, Ellison. He did well there. I think Effiong was trying to protect it out. It ran out of momentum. It might have been the corner if it had, but Ellison just poked the ball off of Effiong into touch. Throw into Aldershot in the left back position. 24 and a half minutes gone here at the EBB, where a sellout 7,000 plus crowd is packed in, and that includes 1,400 Woking fans who are largely wearing yellow. There's a little bit of white in there, isn't there, but largely yellow as per orders, club orders.
Yeah, trying to get confetti and balloons. There were quite a few balloons earlier on and quite a few yellow shirts in there. Yellow isn't the easiest colour to find in clothes.
Flick on from Barham will chase. I don't think he'll get there. Odesina protects the ball, gets a little bit of a contact from behind from Barrett, and it's a free kick. I don't think he needed to make that contact there. I think there was a half a chance that Aldershot might have got themselves a third corner of the first half. 2 corners to shots, 1 to Woking so far. But in terms of efforts on goal, Effiong cutting in and firing, sizzling a half volley just over the bar in the 3rd minute. He's also headed one wide. Luca Woodhouse has headed one wide, and Ryan Jones got right in front of goal. But Tariq Hines cleared the ball behind for a corner before he could get his shot away. Here's a flick on by Walker. There's a foot up in the face of Aaron Jones, who doesn't flinch as Beautyman sticks his foot up there. Referee Bannister insists that Aldershot go back 10 yards before they take the kick, and they recommence play through those 3 Loney youngsters, all under the age of 21, wearing the shirts number 33, 35 and 36, which is a dead giveaway at this time of the season. Here's Cameron Hargreaves in possession for the shot. Fair to say the game's calmed down a little bit, and it is still very even. 2-2 here on Boxing Day, 0-0 here at the moment. Aaron Jones is dispossessed by Walker, and then Walker plays the ball off of him, and it'll be a throw in to Woking.
He's done well, Walker, there.
He did do well, and even the more experienced players, the Nausia players, the captains, they can still feel nerves on a day like this, and that's certainly been the case a couple of times already this afternoon. Kwame Thomas back in the shot squad, definitely a plan B there up Tommy Whittington's sleeves if he needs it later on. Not to mention the man who's sitting down alongside him now, James Henry, who's been outstanding all season. But another long throw to Woking here from halfway inside the Aldershot town half. Andrews takes it, headed but away by Jones, and in fact just back to Andrews. Chips it over Ryan Jones, and then he looks to take on Jones. Jones gets a foot in this time, puts it up in the air. Andrews competing for it again, heads it inside. Aaron Jones heads it on to Hargreaves, but he can only help it on to Frank Vincent. Gets a touch, plays it into touch off of Vincent, throw in to the shots, and players from both sides running around and occasionally stamping on the odd balloon just to put it out of its life.
You see a few dead balloons around the pitch.
There are a few dead balloons, and one of the reasons for that, there isn't a strong breeze today, so they're just drifting here and there. And Will Armitage will get us back underway with this throw. One in the air by Andrews, and then Woodhouse heads it, but Walker gets there at the same time, and he's down in a heap on the floor. Referee's given the free kick to Woking, and Woodhouse was wondering if he was going to get a free kick, but fair play to Lewis Walker, he got in the right place at the right time, and the referee is calling Aaron Jones over for a word and Luca Woodhouse, and I wonder if he's actually going to get his yellow card out here or whether it's going to be a strong word.
Looks like a strong word to me.
I think that's sensible refereeing there. It was a tight call anyway. It was an honest effort, I think, from Woodhouse to go for the ball, but fair play to Walker. He arrived there quickly and early, didn't he? And I don't think Woodhouse anticipated that.
Yeah, he's done well on a few occasions just to get his foot in or get his body in the way. But as you say, I don't think there was any malice in that. I think it was any team would want their defenders to be that committed, but it did catch Walker.
Good afternoon to many of our regular listeners. Not had a chance to mention you, but you know who you are. Thanks for messaging in. 29 minutes gone. Here's Gorman sending in the ball. It'll bounce once and disappear behind the goal, away to our left. That Aldershot Town are defending. Good afternoon to Mike Brown, Lindsay Morrish and Graham Whitehead, and also to John Aves, a good friend of mine, and to anybody who's watching on DAZN or listening to this coverage on their way to their games this afternoon. It's an enjoyable spectacle, but it's tight, it's tense. We're half an hour in now. We will be in 28 seconds time, and it remains 0-0. Like a couple of boxers sparring at the moment. Here's Woodhouse with the ball over the top. Barham can't get there, Hines does, and he cushions a header calmly back to Jääskeläinen. No doubt at all, Ian, that in Aldershot's game plan, and as you said, I watch them week in, week out, they're going from back to front a lot quicker today than they normally do. They're trying to exploit something there that they feel they can benefit from. Meanwhile, at the other end, in the Effiong's plundering after a ball, holds it up, goes back to Beautyman. Beautyman to Andrews. Andrews out wide to Tariq Hines. Now he works his way in. Is that a heavy touch? No, it's picked up. Effiong's got it. He's trying to float across the air and get a shot in. Gorman sends it back in. Beautyman might get onto it inside the penalty area. Plays it back out left to Andrews. In from him. And an effort comes in from Woking and it goes wide. Couldn't quite see whether was it Beautyman who got on the end of it again, or was it Effiong?
I think it was Effiong. Yeah, I think it was Effiong trying to do a fancy back flick which went wide of the post, but quite good build up there from Woking, playing it to feet, and Gorman then playing in Beautyman, who played in Hines.
They say you got to buy a ticket to win the lottery. Well, Innie Effiong's bought 3 tickets already this afternoon. Here's a header inside from Barham. Woking will clear it into touch on halfway, where the shots will begin again with a throw, which Aaron Jones misses out Widrington and sends it straight to Hargreaves. He finds Frost out of possession. Woking really well drilled. They're difficult to break down, they're difficult to beat. Here's Barrett receiving the ball, turn in the area, trying to get back on his left, then his right. He's trying to make room for a shot. He can't. He'll have to prod it back out to Aaron Jones. So near to a chance there. Hargreaves gets his touch all wrong. Aldershot pounce on the heavy touch. Barrett back across to Hargreaves. Hargreaves to Widrington. Widrington back out wide to Aaron Jones. Jones is going to send it in. That comes off the back of Andrews. And Innie Effiong fouls Armitage trying to get to the loose ball. But just how close, how many times was Josh Barrett to creating half an inch for a shot there? And full credit to the in defence here.
Exactly, you can see Barrett's class, and I'm sure he scored a lot of goals in those sorts of positions. And but every step he took, there was a man tracking him, and then the ball was it Luca Woodhouse? He won't get many challenges like that in academy football, will he? Playing someone like Innie Effiong coming through.
He certainly won't. Meanwhile, Aldershot looking to go forward on the right hand side, get it all wrong. Manager Tommy Widrington says something to his captain, and I can't repeat what I saw his captain mouth back to him, but I'm not bad at lip reading, and we'll crack on. Here's the huge kick from Jääskeläinen, headed by Woodhouse into the back of Walker. Now Barham battling with the Woking defence. Gorman's there to tidy things up, and he goes back to Jääskeläinen, and Tommy Widrington is again out of his area shouting instructions to his team. Here's Hargreaves sending a ball into an area where Tariq is a bit nervy onto it. Ryan Jones jumps early, gets a header onto it, finds Barrett, and Barrett is just offside. It's tight, it's tension, the margins are fine. And at the moment, perhaps the emotions are just slightly out-battling the quality. And meanwhile, at the other end of the pitch, Marcus Dewhurst is sitting prone outside his penalty area, and he wants some treatment. And having watched Aldershot, Steve, week in, week out, it's not something they would typically do. In this scenario, sometimes you see, I don't know what you'd call it, a strategic timeout.
Yeah.
It could be that, but it's not particularly been an Aldershot trait throughout the season. So we'll wait and see if that's a genuine concern of injury to Marcus Dewhurst. Geordie van Stappershoef is on the bench, but Tommy Widrington and, in fact, all three members of his management team are in full voice with their team right now.
Whether it's a genuine concern for Marcus Dewhurst or not, the management team are certainly taking full opportunity of this drinks break to pass some key messages on to their players. Both Hugo and Tommy and Richard really vehemently, passionately passing on some messages to their players, who have all come over to this near side in front of the Aldershot Town dugout. And I think you've picked up on it. Aldershot Town, they're taking a while to get into that final third, but also at times they have gone more direct. And I think there was the prime example of this in Woking's game on Tuesday against Rochdale. Certainly for Rochdale's first goal, they were susceptible to the ball over the top, leaving space in behind, and I think the Shots are looking to try and exploit that.
Here's a huge kick from Jaskalainen to get things back underway. Buteman fouls Aaron Jones, and there are 35 minutes gone. Where has the time gone already? The fascinating battle, Steve, I'm loving watching it, is the muscle, the power, the nous, the experience, the might of Ini Effiong up against those Shots youngsters, one at a time, trying to deal with him. Here's Shots at the other end with Barham feeding Jones. Jones inside to Widrington. He'll send it further inside to Cameron Hargreaves. Thinks about going out left, changes his mind, then he changes it again and gives it to Frost. Frost has got an overlapping run from Woodhouse, but he gets that all wrong and he sends it to Woking, but Barrett's won it back. He's inside the penalty area. It's half cleared, towed away. Frost goes down. Penalty to Aldershot Town. Barrett with the run. Woking half clearing it. Frost going for the 30-70 ball, getting there first and drawing the foul. And the referee took just a couple of moments to think about it and then pointed to the spot. Frost suddenly making an attempt to get to the ball inside the area, a bit like Walker did at the other end, and drawing the contact. The penalty has been given. Ian, I know you can't give an opinion on it because you just momentarily left us. Steve, a quick word from you. Very
Penalty.
quick word.
Yeah, penalty for me. Good feet from Josh Barrett. Looked like the Shots had lost possession, but then that's the mercurial Barrett ushering the error. And it looks like, who's stepping up to take
Tyler
the kick?
Frost.
Tyler Frost, who has taken a kick recently.
He has taken the last Aldershot Town penalty kick and he converted it. Took a couple pre-season, but this one's bigger than all of them. 37th minute, FA Trophy semi-final. Frost saved and cleared away. What a save from Will Jaskalainen. What a record he's got. Saving spot kicks. Is he going to be the Woking hero again today? 37 minutes gone. Frost denied from the penalty spot, 0-0.
Tyler went the same way as in his last kick. I think Jaskalainen knew that.
Corner comes in. It's headed clear. Walker's onto it. And now Aaron Jones will send it back in or out to the left side. It's a poor ball. It's gone straight to Frank Vincent. He's bombing over halfway now. Frost coming back to close him down and Woking slow to get bodies forward, but Gorman sends a ball into the right channel now. Walker will chase it. Drama here at the EBB as the Shots have had a huge opportunity to take the lead and they've spurned it. Vincent with the ball on the edge of the penalty area, looks to send it back in. Cut out by Woodhouse. He clears it away only as far as Gorman. Gorman exchanges passes with Buteman, who's going for the return, and Frost is there clears it forward, and is towards touch. Woking win the loose ball, it comes free. Widrington sends it down the left side for Barrett to chase. Tariq Hines will get there first, he clears it long. It's sent back forward by Hargreaves. Somehow or other, Jones manages to win a header from on the floor. Frost lifts it over the top. Barham's there, and it's headed into touch by the hero of the moment, Will Jääskeläinen. What a save, Ian Nicholson.
It was a great save. It's why Will Jääskeläinen has been Woking's player of the season. Even that just headed clearance showed that. It wasn't the best of penalties. It was a bit too close to him, and
here's a cross in from Frost underneath the bar, caught by Jääskeläinen.
Excuse that pause there while we waited for that, but no, he's been immense all season, and at Oxford City he saved I think it was 3 or 4 penalties and then scored the winning one. So he's come on leaps and bounds. I mean, last year he had a dodgy period, and there were questions of whether he'd stay on, but he's been immense.
Here's Andrews winning a header and then just being caught by Theo Widrington afterwards. Just a free kick to the Cards, who started the game the brighter and then who conceded a penalty. Struck towards goal by Frost in the 37th minute, but Will Jääskeläinen had other ideas.
And Tommy Widrington has been pretty calm, surprisingly calm for the first half hour, but he's certainly come alive now.
Gorham is going to take that free kick from just 10 yards or so inside the Aldershot town half. Looking to float it over the top of the defence. Woodhouse is big, strong, wins the header, and then he also receives a free kick, having not flinched in the challenge. Steve, how do you think the shots will... Well, there's a ball through the middle. I think it'll be too strong and it'll go through to Jääskeläinen. The shots don't tend to flinch too much when they go behind in games, and this is the nearest comparable thing. They're not behind, of course, it's level, but it will feel like a blow.
It will, absolutely. They're a stronger side in the second half, Aldershot Town. I don't think that there's any reason to panic, even though Tyler Frost personally is having an absolute nightmare of a first half. He's incurred the wrath of Tommy Widrington for misplaced passes, miscontrol a few times, and that missed penalty certainly will not endear him any further to the manager. But yeah, it's the same. He went the same side as his last spot kick at that end of the stadium as well. And Jääskeläinen is the sort of goalkeeper that will have done his homework. He will have known that. He guessed right. But yeah, Aldershot Town keep their composure. This game is going the full 90-95 minutes. It doesn't matter when you score, as long as you score more than the opposition.
Here's Ellison heading the ball into the path of Hargreaves, who can't see a way forward, so he goes left to Woodhouse, who manages to skip past Vincent, and he breaks the lines, but then he sends it straight to Dan Moss. And Aldershot, though, have won it back again through Theo Widrington, who gets away from Jamie Andrews momentarily, then he turns back the other way. And now Aldershot through Ryan Jones sends a ball over the top, but that's cut out. Jones battles back well to get a touch in front of Indy Effiong, and Will Armitage will go all the way back to Marcus Dewhurst. Hargreaves over halfway. Very good afternoon to the Winfield family listening and watching in. Here's Woking clearing towards halfway. Ellison comes through and wins it against Walker right on halfway, but unfairly so, according to referee Aaron Bannister, and it will be a free kick to Woking on halfway.
And Aldershot beginning to look quite dominant now, particularly in midfield. They're picking up a lot of possession, and then, but if their midfield's dominant, I would say that Woking's defence has been very well marshalled and is snuffing out any real threat. So it really is an intriguing battle here, but still a long way to go in the game.
Good afternoon to Big Tony Shots listening at home in Cambridgeshire. 0-0 here, 42.5 minutes gone. Woking with another free kick on halfway. Headed down and then sent into the penalty area, hooked away by Frost. Up towards Barham, gets a little flick into the path of Ryan Jones. Andrews comes over to it, and he'll send it back to Jääskeläinen now. Jääskeläinen, Ian, is human. He slices it into touch, and it's good to know.
Yeah, it's a bobbly old pitch, and yeah.
Throw into shots taken quickly. Ryan Jones sends it inside to Theo Widrington. Widrington inside to Barrett. Holds it up on the edge of the area. Quickly skips out to the left-hand side. Got Frost going ahead of him. Frost gives it back to him. Sends it into the middle. That's a poor one. Frost battles for it, but Walker will get there first. Ryan Jones prods from behind. Can't get a clear sight or touch of it. Walker lifts it over the top. Ellison dives in front of Effiong. And I think the referee's given a free kick rather than the throw-in that it would have been to the shots. We've got 1 minute and 20 seconds left before we'll find out how much added time there'll be. Neil Ardley's in intensive conversations with the fourth official down on the touchline. And Aaron Jones will send the ball down the right side for Aldershot. Tariq Hines touches it into a space which he knew was vacant. Andrews sends it forward, and then Armitage onto it, lifts it forward. Headed again by Woking, but Ryan Jones is onto the loose ball. Theo Widrington pokes it to Josh Barrett. Barrett back inside to Theo Widrington. Thinks about the cutting through pass to Jones, but he goes left to Hargreaves. Hargreaves is under pressure from Walker, but he skips past Beautyman, leaves it there for Theo Widrington. Forward run initially from Aaron Jones. Aldershot can't quite work the space. Beautyman pokes it to Walker. Walker is under pressure immediately from Cameron Hargreaves, who can't quite win it cleanly. Vincent's found on halfway, tries to get the ball out of his feet, see where Effiong is. He's still got the ball under control. Goes back to Hines. 10 seconds away from the 45 ending, or at least being sent into added time. Vincent gets the ball. The shock of blonde hair again this afternoon. He's been out-muscled and outnumbered by the shots. Hargreaves won the ball back. He finds Woodhouse. We're going to have 3 added minutes. Here's Barrett ghosting onto the ball out to the right side. Will he take on his man? He holds it. He waits for support. Sends a ball in. Headed behind for another corner. Timmy Odesina with the clearance, and the Shots will have a 4th corner of the first half here as we enter, or we come towards the end of the first minute of a minimum of 3 to be added. It's 0-0 here in the FA Trophy semi-final. Just one leg, straight to penalties after 90 minutes if it's all square. It is all square now. It might not have been, but Tyler Frost's penalty in the 37th minute was saved. The Shots, though, have regrouped. Here's Hargreaves going to shoot from distance. Gets a bit of fizz on it, but always starting wide and finishing a little bit wider. Goal kick to Woking, 0-0, 2 added minutes to go. Ian Nicholson in the first half.
Yeah, been an intriguing half, hasn't it? Gone by so quickly, and both teams have given their all. It's quite a warm day now, but it's just been intriguing. It's been slightly different styles, Woking a bit more direct, really putting it up to Walker and Effiong. Aldershot with that bit of class around the penalty area, but in many ways not threatening much apart from the penalty.
Yeah, here's the goal kick from Jaskalainen as he takes it. We've got 1.5 minutes of 3 added. Flick on from Effiong to the edge of the area. A little bit of a misunderstanding, and it will eventually end up behind the goal. For a goal kick or free kick, I'm not sure. Referee could have given either, doesn't need to. It'll be a set piece restart for the Shots. And
Neil Ardley again talking to the fourth official. I think he feels it in the Effiong's been particularly zealously patrolled, and also didn't quite see what happened there, but both managers now quite animated.
That's Ian Nicholson alongside Steve Gibbs and myself, Rob Worrell. Here comes the goal kick from Shots, bounces once, will go all the way through to Jaskalainen. We've got 40 seconds minimum left in this first half. Here's the kick from Jaskalainen. One in the air by Armitage, chested down by Ryan Jones, and then he follows it out to the right hand side. He's under pressure now from Andrews, skips one way then the other. Tariq Hines has unloaded him and dispossessed him, and there's a ball across the middle, but Hargreaves is running onto that. He'll have to change direction. Comes back to Frost, who pokes it back to Theo Widrington in front of Effiong. And can the Shots create a chance in these last few seconds of the first half. 0-0 it is. Time is up. No, says the referee, who's not playing a second more. He brings the first half to a close. It's tight. It's all level. 0-0. And here with his thoughts on the first half from a Woking perspective is Ian Nicholson.
Well, it's anyone's game, really. I think it's been a great occasion, a great half of football in terms of the event. Not the best football, a lot of mistakes at times, but both teams giving their best. Obviously, the big talking points would be Ini Effiong had the best chance of Woking in the first minute or so, and then the saved penalty by Jääskeläinen later on. And both managers, a lot of talking to do at half time, and I'm sure there'll be some tactical changes and some personnel changes as we move forward.
Excellent. And Steve Gibbs, from an Aldershot Town point of view, that first half.
Yeah, the game hasn't quite exploded into life yet as we maybe expected or hoped, but Aldershot Town may be winning that midfield, as Ian pointed out. I think in both ends of the pitch, Woking have held sway. They've troubled the Aldershot Town defence, and by getting so many bodies behind the ball, it's a back four, but particularly Frank Vincent is dropping back when they're out of possession, and it becomes a back five, even six at times. And Aldershot Town have been sloppy in possession, not quite with their usual creativity. And the penalty miss has kind of typified their first half, I'm afraid, that they've been the nearly team. Tommy Widrington really frustrated as the half-time whistle went. I wouldn't expect the shots to be as bad in the second half as they have been in the first, but can Woking utilise what they've shown, the promise they've shown in the first half, and take a vital lead?
Ian, Will Jääskeläinen, thank you Steve. Will Jääskeläinen wrote his name all over that quarter-final, didn't he, with that penalty shootout. And so far he's the story of the day again, isn't he?
Yeah, I asked her a question about a year ago. It was before a big game, and I just said, as a goalkeeper, is it intimidating playing in front of, a really big non-league crowd? And he just looked at me as if I was mad and said, no, these are the games you live for. He'll be loving today. He'll be loving the occasion. Doesn't matter to him that there are probably 5,500 fans sort of on his back. He's just grown so much as a player this season, and so in one sense that penalty save wasn't a surprise. He's just been consistency. Can't really think of any obvious errors he's done all year, and so well done to Will Jääskeläinen.
Absolutely. So all square at half time then, Tim. 0-0 here. Still, the 7,000 plus people in the ground have no idea which way this one is going. We'll be back, of course, for the second half, but hey, this is just the start of the fun today, right?
Just at the start, a long old day. Rob, thank you for now. And the team, so 0-0. Aldershot missing a penalty. That is, of course, the FA Trophy semi-final. At 3 o'clock today, Rochdale will meet Spennymoor. The winner of that will meet the winner of Aldershot Woking, which will be concluded today. As Rob kept saying, quite rightly, it is one day, one game. No extra time. It's 90 minutes. And then good old penalties if needed. Big day for AFC Whiteleaf. They are half a foot in the FA Vase. Finally, you would have thought they're 3-1 up at Andover. We'll preview that in a few minutes' time. Our 3 o'clock commentary comes from the Premier League. Brighton of Albion away to Crystal Palace. Former Albion player Leonardo Trossard has got the Arsenal goal just before half-time. That is in fact now half-time, so 34 minutes he got the goal. They've now gone in for half-time. Everton 0, Arsenal 1. At 3 it's Ipswich Wolves, West Ham Bournemouth, and Villa Forest at 5:30. We'll preview Whiteleaf, Crawley and the Albion coming up in a few moments' time. In the other sporting headlines, if you're just wondering, the Formula 1 saw Max Verstappen in the Red Bull getting ahead of the two McLarens. He's on pole. You've got Norris alongside him, and Oscar Piastri will start third. Lewis Hamilton's Ferrari is 8th. And do not forget, 4 o'clock today in horse racing, the Grand National taking place this afternoon. 34 runners maximum at Aintree, with Iron Maximus looking to make it back-to-back wins. Quick cricket score check for you. Remind, online commentary on every Sussex and every Surrey game, Hampshire as well. So we are Surrey in trouble with Essex, who are just batting all the way through half of day 2 now. 466 for 4, so no wickets today for Surrey in the morning session. Hampshire, 249 all out. Yorkshire, 121 all out. And as for Sussex, back in the top flight for the first time, they have moved to 477 for 7. We'll preview the football next.
Why would anyone want to steal a toilet?
If they think they can get away with it, they'll get away with it.
But this isn't any old toilet. This is a solid gold toilet worth nearly £5 million, stolen from a palace.
A solid gold toilet has been stolen from the birthplace of British leader Winston Churchill.
Police are trying to flush the robbers out.
It's a tale of security failures, ruthless robbers, and missing millions.
It happened so quickly.
From Crime Next Door, the Golden Toilet Heist. Listen first on BBC Sounds.
They're not joking, it's a true story and it's all there in the pod. Now, let us look ahead to our 3 o'clock games. Looking to either join Woking or Aldershot at Wembley is the Surrey side, AFC Whiteleaf. At the FA Vase final taking place on the same day, of course, as the trophy on the 11th of May. Whiteleaf lead their semi 3-1 heading into the second leg at Andover New Street this afternoon. George Baines will be there for us. They're also chasing League and League Cup honours this season are the Leaf. And their owner and co-manager is Kelly Waters.
Saturday will be another great tie. We've seen in the second half how Andover New Street can play. It was a real good match in the second half, so I expect that their place will probably be a bit more adventurous, especially needing 2 goals, and it'll probably be a really difficult match, and hopefully we can go ahead and get the job done.
You're involved, and everyone's so positive, you're involved in so many fronts. Have you had to change the week compared to others?
We've been treating training a little bit more lightly. Last week we played Red Hill in the week, followed by the Vase semi a few days later, and straight after the next Vase one we've got another game on Tuesday. Later in the season we've got possibly playoff semi and final, League Cup quarter semi and final, Vase second leg of the semi and final. Just no dates in the calendar left to get 3 without reply against us. No team's done all season, so that's going to be challenging for them to lose by 2 goals. Not sure we've done that either all season. That's not to be overconfident or cocky about it, but they've got a hell of a job to turn this around. Even if they do get a couple, we can't remember a game where we didn't score.
Well, a very confident manager. The club captain is Helgi Aromi. He insists they are not taking anything for granted at 3 today.
We're focused. We've got to be focused. Still got 9 minutes of football to play. Again, we always say it's another game of football, but we can't go in there with the advantage and lose that advantage. So we stay focused and hopefully we get the job done.
What are your plans for the day? Are you going to be travelling there on the day or staying overnight? And how are you going to, timeline-wise, how's it going to work on the day?
So I think we're going to meet up early in the morning, travel on the day. Got quite a few coaches on the way up there, obviously with support as well, and the supporters. So yeah, I feel like, again, we're just going to treat it as a day out. You know, we've always enjoyed our days out, but with something at the end of 90 minutes that we can really, really look forward to. So on the way there, of course, we'll be really focused, but if we get the job done, I don't think the coach will have any woes on the way back. We take every game like individually, take one game at a time, and we know we're good enough. Like we've got so much confidence in each other's abilities that we believe that we can beat any side we face, and it's down to us if we don't. Like most of the defeats we've had this season, we've caused our own problems. So that's why I was saying we have to stay focused, and the belief is there. The belief is there, and we will stay focused, and we are really, really pushing to make sure that we make some history.
We've heard a brilliant noise at the Rec at the EBB with the 7,000 fans and working in Aldershot. It's a big day, of course, for the Leaf fans. One of those is Ed.
We're not used to this. Absolutely not. The boys have done phenomenal for a very long time. The last 2-3 years, they've turned it on. And if they do what they do, fantastic. If they don't do what they do, well, I've done amazing anyway. So, but let's get to Wembley. Let's get there. Yeah? Going down on Saturday on the train with a few of the boys and my family, and yeah, mate, it's a community affair. It's what we do. We're gonna have fun and we'll win it. All right. Listen, right. What's happened with this run? Getting 2,000 people down to this club. Like, I help out down here. I do the under 9s teams. Like, what it's done to this club is absolutely fantastic. So, win, lose, draw, whatever they do, they've done us proud, and they will continue to. So, yeah.
Well, that's Fan Ed. We're going to have updates from George Baines. If you want full commentary on Andover versus Whiteleaf, it is available via our colleagues at BBC Radio Solent. So if you go online through BBC Sounds, you can find Working Aldershot there. All our non-league games are available because we have the commentary rights, not the EFL like Crawley, I'm afraid. But you can hear commentary today on Andover versus Whiteleaf. Also online in the UK today, you can hear our big 3 o'clock game. It's also a huge arch rivalry. The Albion off to Crystal Palace in the Premier League, of course. The Seagulls soundly beaten 3-0 at home by Palace earlier this season, but overall have had a pretty good first campaign under their boss Fabian Hertzler. Still around the European places with 8 matches to play. Hertzler knows how big today is for their fans.
I can feel it, and I think it's also our responsibility to give them something back. So in the first derby, we went on our highest level. We didn't give the fans that what they deserve, and I think tomorrow it's opportunity for us and also our responsibility to make it better than the last time.
Managers always say that they treat every game like each other, but is there a little bit of extra preparation when you go into a derby, or some words that you give the players, a bit more motivation?
No, I think there's already a big motivation because it's the final third of the season. It's about achieving something. It's about winning something now, and every game is and will be important, and therefore the motivation is very high. We will go all in. We try to win this game for our fans. We try to bounce back after the setbacks. That's what we always did this season so far, and that's what is inside of our team, what shows always the character from our team, and tomorrow we will prove it again.
Big game. So that is our second commentary after the second half of our FA Trophy game. If you just tuned in, it is goalless. We're not sure how. Aldershot missing a penalty. The mighty Will Jeskalainen, who saved 3 and scored a penalty himself to get into the semi-final, has kept Woking in it. It is shots 0, Woking 0. Second half commentary in around 5 minutes' time. Crawley Town, they need to bounce back immediately, don't they, after Tuesday's heartbreaking stoppage time 4-3 defeat away to Peterborough United. It was the first loss since Scott Lindsay returned as manager a few weeks ago. He'd got back-to-back wins since that return, so they're still okay. They're 6 points adrift of safety. They've got 6 games left, and they've gone to Stevenage this afternoon. We'll talk to Gary Smith after the Shots game. Well, he's been sitting down with Scott after that Tuesday Peterborough defeat to reflect and look ahead.
I think that we looked at what we probably needed from the 9 games when I come in, and that give us probably a margin of losing some games. So we've lost one tonight, so nothing changes. Just got to make sure that we get enough points to stay up. Listen, when I come in, I had 9 games to go with 12 points off, being safe. When you look at that, that's some task to overcome. Some might say almost impossible, but it's never impossible when it is possible. So, and it's still possible now. So it is what it is. We know that it was always going to be a tough ask. Always. My boys will be fine, because I'd be more worried if we've come here and I'm speaking to you now with no points and didn't play well and didn't score goals and didn't create chances. We hit the bar, we hit the post. There's no change in the plan.
Yeah, you sort of preempted my next question then, because I was going to say, going into Stevenage, there's got to be nothing really that you need to change. The side need to go there with the confidence of the display they put on against Peterborough and the same level of commitment and the same work rate on and off the ball to get a result there at Stevenage.
Yeah, definitely. I think I don't think there's any tweaks really. I don't think there's any. Obviously, I've got to coach the team in terms of how we play against Stevenage, because they'll be different from Peterborough tonight. So we need to look at a few bits regarding that, but which we'll do. But no, the players are doing great. They really are. The team are doing great, and I think anyone who watched the game tonight would know that the players put so much effort into that game and played well and didn't deserve to come away as losers.
We shall see. Big afternoon from 3 in League One. Crawley away to Stevenage. In the Premier League, Brighton and Albion is our commentary game. They're away to Crystal Palace. We'll follow Whiteleaf in the FA Vars. We'll follow Worthing, Dorking, Eastbourne Barrett and Farnborough in National League South. And we'll keep an eye on the Grand National to boot. Talking Grand National, where are we, Rob? We're about halfway round the Grand National course. We're about to go round the second lap. And you've still got Beecher's Brook and you've still got... Now, what do they call it? It's still got the elbow. Back to our commentary team of Ian Nickerson, big Woking fan, our summariser. We've got Steve Gibbs, big Shots fan, alongside our neutral, wearing white, Robert Worrell.
Beige, actually, Tim Beige. But thank you very much indeed for coming back to us here on a beautiful sunny spring afternoon. in North East Hampshire. We still have not a clue which one of these two sides are going to progress through to the arch of Wembley. Tommy Widrington, suited and booted down in front of us. Neil Ardley, track-suited, a little bit more of a calmer looking figure, sitting, track-suited. Tommy Widrington standing, often galloping up and down the line, shouting instructions as well. Here's the second half underway, quickly headed into touch by Gorman, throw into Aldershot on halfway. Shots nil, Woking nil. FA Trophy semi-final in a game that will end when the referee signals the end of the 90 minutes plus stoppage time, and there will be no extra time. It'll be straight to penalties, where we know that Mr. Jaskalainen for Woking already has a bit of an advantage. Here's Hines sending the ball in to touch in a defensive position. Throw quickly taken by Aaron Jones. He finds Theo Widrington. Ball round the corner from him. Does find briefly Ryan Jones, but he's been dispossessed. Gorman clears it forward. Ellison is the back of Walker, goes over them both, and Armitage wins the header. Then a knockdown, half-headed clear by Woking. Won momentarily by Hargreaves, and then prodded back by Hargreaves to Frost, who's breaking into the penalty area on the left side. Now has he overrun it? He has, and that gave the opportunity for the Woking defender, who was Gorman, to play the ball off him, stick it behind the goal at the East Bank end for a goal kick to Woking. Great bit of anticipation, great bit of opportunism from Tyler Frost, but then his touch was a little heavy in.
Touch a little heavy, and Gorman did really well. Frank Vincent, energetic on the right, but lost possession there, and that was a dangerous moment for Woking.
So no changes to the lineups at half time. Let's give them to you again. The Shots playing in a 3-4-1-2. Dewhurst in goal, Woodhouse, Ellison and Armitage, the back three. Frost, Hargreaves, Widrington and Jones across the middle. Ryan Jones playing behind Barham and Barrett. Here's a big leap from Barham, but Ryan Jones couldn't get onto the loose ball. Aaron Jones does well at the other end to head it, but he can only cushion his header to Harry Buterman. He's got an overlapping run from Tariq Hines on the left now, but he plays it short into Walker. Walker back to Buterman. Buterman back to Jamie Andrews. That's a very heavy touch. And Aldershot have won it through Aaron Jones. He gives it to Ryan Jones. Aaron Jones switches the play out to the left side, looking for Tyler Frost. He'll quickly be double marked by Woking players. Finds Hargreaves in a momentary bit of space, gives it to Woodhouse, goes off into a channel on the left looking for the ball. That wasn't played, and he comes back and wins it again. There's a ball into Frost. He turns sharply on the touchline and gets a slight push from Dan Moss. Free kick to Aldershot out on this left hand side. The Woking lineup, more of a 4-1-3-2. Jaskalainen in goal, Hines, Akinola, Odesina and Moss across the middle. Here's Barrett on the edge of the penalty area, tries to get the cross in. It'll be headed on and cleared by a Woking player. Gorman holding in front of the defence. Vincent, Andrews and Buterman also in midfield behind Walker and Effiong in attack. We're already 3 minutes into the second half. It remains 0-0 here. Thanks for joining us on BBC Radio Surrey, on BBC Sport app, on BBC Surrey Online and also on DAZN. In comes the throw from Jones, headed up and on by Effiong, and then the acrobatic effort by Josh Barrett on the edge of the area is very, very high. It's actually central, probably towards the goal, but you could probably stack a couple more goals on top of that and it still would have been high, wouldn't it? Maybe even one on the roof it might have cleared.
It was acrobatic though. It was acrobatic.
It was
given that, and
from the very acrobatic Josh Barrett, who's found the net in various competitions 17 times this season, and he's proved a few people wrong. Here's the goal kick from Jaskalainen. It's huge again. It's headed on by Ellison, and now Vincent will get onto it, but his touch is heavy and it will go out of play in.
Yeah, and this half's picked up. It's only been a few minutes, but already you see Aldershot's midfield is pretty dominant. Ended the first half pretty dominant, carrying on, and Woking really needs to get a grip of that, otherwise it's going to be a very long half.
Here's a throw down the line. Inadvertently headed on by Vincent, headed back again by Moss, and then headed clear by Woodhouse. Hargreaves plays the ball off Andrews. It's into touch. Throw in front of us here in the media stand. Colin McDonald, I think back home in Orlando, says great to see the EBB packed in red and blue and the sun shining. Hopefully the shots go on to win this. Of blue balloons just making its way towards the media box. Armitage on this occasion is, beg your pardon, Barham is adjudged to have fouled Dan Moss on the touchline. Woking this time will have the free kick. Happy birthday, by the way, to Lindsay Morris, a regular listener and Shots fan, who's listening in from Tenerife on his actual birthday. So we know what present you'd like, Lindsay. But we got supporters from both sides here, of course. Supporters from both sides listening, watching the stream. Still, we await the first key decisive moment in this game. 0-0. Jaskalainen already with that 37th minute penalty save takes the free kick. Effiong leaves it, bounces beyond him to Beautyman. He's out on the left side, tries to get it in, comes off the Shots player, and it'll be just a second corner of the afternoon, Ian, for Woking.
Yeah, and it's been a quiet afternoon for Harry Beautyman, but whenever he's on the ball, you can tell he's just got that bit of class that probably is beyond quite a few players in this game, and he knows what he's thinking, he knows what to do, and there he won the corner.
Gorman has gone over to take it, nobody with him, so we will be delivering it in. Got a bus stop queue forming, and Akinola heads that. Moss is behind him, Walker's behind him, and Effiong behind the three of them. 4 Shots defenders wait to see who's going to peel off and how they're going to mark, and then there's some pushing off the ball, and Widrington Theo is down on the floor. The referee coming over first of all to make sure that he's okay. The referee clearly saw whatever happened. I most certainly didn't. Did you, Ian?
No, I didn't. I was looking over at Dale Gorman about to take the corner.
Yeah, shake of the head from Theo Widrington. It's a red card to Woking's Harry Beautyman. Something off the ball in the penalty area. Beautyman shakes his head, but is that because he feels he's innocent or because he can't believe what was spotted? We don't know. We don't have the benefit of a replay, but 6,000 Aldershot Town fans are waving goodbye to Harry Beautyman. Ian, you didn't see what happened, did you? Ardley puts his arm around the head of Beautyman. Woking still have the corner, and we're going to get underway, so I'll have to get your thoughts in a minute. But Aldershot thought they had an advantage with the penalty. It was saved. Now they have a man advantage. 53 minutes in. Shown against Beautyman. None of the 3 people commentating saw what happened. In it comes, punched away by Dewhurst. Helped on by Ryan Jones. Held up by Josh Barrett and then sent round the corner. Appeals for handball against the Woking player, not given. Sent forward. Woodhouse stands firm. The ball comes off his head. It's into touch. It's a throw into Woking. Ian, quick word?
We have no idea what's happened there, but I would be absolutely amazed if Harry Beautyman did anything to warrant a red card there. He's just not that sort of player. From his gestures coming off, he was aghast.
Okay.
No one around us has seen what happened there.
What I do know is that the referee saw whatever happened very clearly. He was decisively in. He checked on Widrington first, and then he thought about it for some time, reached to his back pocket, showed ready. We'll have no doubt, the referee. We have doubt because we didn't see it. In comes the throw from Andrews, headed away by Frost, only as far as Vincent. Will the man advantage suit Aldershot? Will the hurt help Woking? Is a throw, a header at the far post, and it's in from Lewis Walker. He's put 10-man Woking ahead here in the 55th minute. What drama here at the EBB. Walker drifted onto it. He headed it in at the far post, People were looking round for an infringement, a flag, a whistle, nothing came. It's Walker, the former Shotts loanee, who's put the Cards ahead with just 10 minutes gone in the second half. Aldershot Town 0, Woking 1.
Well, drama, exactly. That's such drama. One, the red card, and then the ball in, and Lewis Walker ghosted in at the back post and headed it home perfectly. There's been a criticism of Lewis Walker this year that times he's played well but probably hasn't taken his chances, but he took that one beautifully, and if Woking can manage to hold on to that, he'll become a Woking hero today.
Everything Woking have done under Neil Ardley has been against adversity, against players unavailable to them, coming from behind in games. Often they've levelled through a Beautyman penalty. That was never going to happen today because he's now had his marching orders. But would you believe it, just 3 minutes after Woking go down to 10 men, they take the lead. Lewis Walker ghosting in at the far post, and now Aldershot Town have 35 minutes against 10 men to try and get back into this one. Yellow flare was set off at the far end during those celebrations. Here's a knockdown, edge of the area. Woking should clear it. Frost is still interested, picked up by Ryan Jones, half cleared, only finds Cameron Hargreaves. Hargreaves sends it out to Woodhouse. Vincent gets a foot in, prods it into touch. Throw in to the Shotts. All sorts of drama throughout the game. Tyler Frost's game is over, he's off. Henry will come on, and we'll wait and see. I think initially he'll take up a position on the left, but he'll most likely go into the 10 now, and Ryan Jones will drop out to the left-hand side. I think that was always the most likely substitution, the first substitution the Shotts would make. Here is Ryan Jones losing out to Frank Vincent. Effiong comes down the right-hand side. He's got a couple of Shotts players for company. Woodhouse has won it, sends it inside to Armitage. Can Shotts keep clear heads? Can they make the man advantage count? Can they get themselves level in this one? Or are we going right to the wire, not knowing how this one is going to go? Woodhouse tries the ball through, it's cut out easily by Moss, and then Hargreaves lifts a foot and misses the ball, and the referee, understandably, Aaron Bannister, gives the free kick to Woking. Any thoughts, Steve Gibbs, from you on the Woking goal? There was almost a disbelief because obviously the Woking fans at the other end of the ground weren't quite sure where it had ended up.
There was something of a satellite delay in their celebrations, but from an Aldershot Town perspective, Andrews had too much time and space to make the cross. I think Frost, I don't want to pick on him, he's had a horrible afternoon. Fortunately for him, Tommy Widrington has shown mercy and withdrawn him, but he slipped as Andrews was about to deliver the cross, and then Walker was able to nip in between two Shotts defenders and glance ahead past Dewhurst. A sloppy goal for Aldershot Town to concede, probably typical of their afternoon so far, but the man advantage, and now Aldershot Town need to settle, play their own game. They've got James Henry on. It's up to them to show what they're made of and not end this afternoon wondering what might have been. They need to leave it all out there, not die wondering.
In comes the throw from Andrews. It's headed away by Woodhouse. Andrews thought he was going to be first onto it, but Gorman gets there, and then Hargreaves dispossesses them. 4 on 4 now, Aldershot Town. Henry sweeps it out to the right hand side to Jack Barham. He's got Aaron Jones making ground outside of him. He scuts across to Theo Widrington, edge of the area, finds Barrett. Barrett tries a shot. It's got a bit of dip, it's got a bit of curl, but not enough. It's a sighter for Josh Barrett in the 59th minute, which is now complete. The game, of course, isn't. Aldershot Town 0, Woking 1.
Yeah, and that was sloppy from Woking in midfield again there. They I think it was Gorman and Andrews got a bit mixed up, and suddenly Aldershot were away, and it fell to Barrett, the danger man, and as you say, on that occasion he was a bit wide of the mark, but There's going to be a lot of that in the rest of this game.
My goodness me, there's going to be a lot of tension here. Both sets of fans are going to feel it. Woking have got a precious lead, but they're down to 10. And Aldershot have now had a penalty saved and conceded while Woking were down to 10 men. Here's Effiong holding the ball up. Walker can't keep it. Theo Widrington finds James Henry. Plays it through the middle, looking for Barham. Can't find him. Tariq Hines clears down the left side. Effiong battles with Armitage. Effiong claims the corner, and so do the Woking fans, but the referee, having none of it, says it's a goal
so
kick
does
to
Steve Gibbs.
Yeah, Steve Gibbs, there you go, you see, he bleeds red and blue, but even he thought it was a corner to Woking. It wasn't given. Here comes Luca Woodhouse over halfway. He's not initially being shut down. And this is where Aldershot have got to be smart. They've got to be savvy. They've got to work out where the man over is at any one period. Here's Theo Widrington arrowing it out to the left side. Ryan Jones is onto it in the penalty area, squares it, and it's cleared behind for a corner by Woking. Right in front of goal, 4 yards out, right across the toes of Jack Barham. A huge opportunity for the shots. Steve Gibbs.
Yeah, Ryan Jones did superbly well to beat his man and get the crossover. It was just waiting, begging for somebody to arrive into the box. Perfect timing from that attacking midfield position and stroke it into the net. In the end, it's a couple of Woking players that end up in the net, and one of them, I think it's Frank Vincent, who's about to receive some treatment on the edge of the 6-yard box before Aldershot Town can take this corner. But yet again, a tale of what might have been so very nearly. But I think Ryan Jones, as good as he is in that number 10, and I welcomed his inclusion there, he wreaked havoc in the second half on Boxing Day against Woking from that left wing back position. If the shots are going to get back into this, he will be absolutely pivotal.
He certainly will. I must admit, I thought it was a Woking player that smashed it behind the goal for a corner, but it's not going to be, is it? Or is it when they get back underway? I don't know. They've got a stoppage in play. It's Vincent who's receiving treatment at the moment. And I think we're going to get... Look, let's just face it, whoever had taken the lead in a tight game in the semi-final, we're going to get a number of stoppages now, aren't we, Ian?
Yeah, and I think Frank Vincent's struggled a bit at times today. He's been good at times, but also struggled, and I think there he let the man in. It looks like Jermaine Anderson, who's also played for Aldershot over the years and will be coming on, and it looks like Frank Vincent
is coming
off.
Yeah, and Ini Effiong has changed shirts. He must have been sweating so profusely in the first one. So Vincent coming off, Jermaine Anderson coming on. Do you think we'll see somebody else push to wide positions, or will Jermaine Anderson just slot in there?
It would. I would imagine the word.
Another ex-shot, by the way.
Yeah, I did mention that. I did mention that, Rob.
Yeah, sorry. There's probably almost
two goals against us on one game, if I recall.
Okay, that's the voice of Ian Nicholson. Alongside him is Steve Gibbs. I'm Rob Worrell. FA Trophy semi-final action, and we've had plenty of it as Effiong battles away in his crisp new shirt, holds the ball up now, spins, turns, he's inside the penalty area, he's going to try a shot, and he drives it wide. He's just beaten 3 or 4 Aldershot defenders there in the one move. Ellison's ended up on the floor. Referee's not given a free kick for that. That's Effiong's 4th effort of any kind this afternoon, Ian. And if he's finding the target there, he could be putting this to bed, because there's only 26 minutes left.
Exactly, and I think his complaint is that because of his size, he sometimes feels he gets picked on, but there he managed to, as you say, see off 4 players.
Here's Aldershot trying to get going again at the other end. Ellison squares the ball across to Armitage. The only 2 players left now in the Aldershot Town half. Hargreaves out to Luca Woodhouse. We're in the 65th minute. That's way too firm a ball for Aldershot to chase down the left side. It'll be another goal kick to Woking. Another opportunity for Jaskalainen to pop a few balloons, and eventually when he's forced to take the goal kick.
And it's those sorts of overhit mistakes really that lift the pressure off the defending team a little bit. They can breathe a little bit, eat up another 30 seconds or so.
And now Dan Ellison's coming to the touchline. He needs attending to a blood injury to his nose. After that, Later's coming together with Ini Effiong. While he's done so, Theo Widrington's dropped back into the back three, and it'll be 10 v 10 until Ellison's nosebleed can be stopped. Here, Widrington battles with Effiong, whilst behind them Woodhouse comes through and wins the header. Now the ball's in touch, throw into shots is taken quickly to Hargreaves. He sends it down the left side and Barham chases it, heads it into a position of space. Now he'll square up. Akinola comes back. Now he twists and goes the other way, but Akinola reads that well, clears his lines. He can only find Cameron Hargreaves. Hargreaves squares it to Theo Widrington. Ellison changes his shirt, waits to come on. Here's James Henry battling away, can't win it cleanly. Aaron Jones onto the loose ball. It finds Armitage. Referee signals for Ellison to come back on into the action. Hargreaves plays it up to Barrett. Barrett back to Hargreaves. Nearly 66 minutes gone now. Theo Widrington twists, turns. Woking are in a 9-man, 10-man block, literally. Ryan Jones on the left side tries to skip past his man. It's well read, but he battles back, tries to win it again. Mustn't give away the foul. It's cleared forward. Into touch, off of Jones, and it will be a throw-in to Woking. And this is Woking under Neil Ardley personified right now, isn't it? You're 1-0 up in a game where you're down to 10 men, and you've got to battle. You've got to see it through. You know what the finishing line is, where it is, and you know what the prize is.
Exactly, yeah. And actually, if there's one criticism of Neil Ardley's teams, it's that sometimes they've given away goals in these situations, and but they will know what counts here. They will know what matters, and they will be giving their all to keep this advantage. Lots of fist bumping and hand slapping going on after every successful challenge or break up in play.
And it's going to be like that all the way through. Steve, we talked about it once in the first half. Let's talk about it again. The elephant in the room, the big games, when they come around, the big crowds, it doesn't quite go for the shots. It hasn't today in the saving of the penalty and in going behind as well. But this young shot side have got the character and belief to keep going late into games. They've done it a lot this season.
They have, absolutely. They won't know about that baggage, and hopefully it won't affect them. Huge credit to Neil Ardley for his game plan and the way his players have executed it. They've been superb this afternoon. At the moment, it's the archetype of the away day smash and grab, except it's not really a smash and grab. But yeah, Aldershot Town need to find something from somewhere in the remaining 25 minutes or so. Otherwise, it will be another disappointed Ebb Stadium.
Nutmeg from Ryan Jones, then sends it down the left for Barham to chase. Again, it's asking an awful lot, and Barham battles away, just catches Odesina. It'll be, well, goal kick, free kick, whatever, to Woking. And we mentioned it in the first half, Aldershot Town's potential plan B. Might be plan C now, because to be fair, James Henry was plan B, wasn't he? He's come on for Frost, but we're going to see big Kwame Thomas, as Aldershot no doubt are going to have a lot of the ball, and a lot of it's going to be in that final third in these last 21 and a half minutes or so. So Kwame Thomas is coming on, and we wait to see who's going to come off from an Aldershot Town point of view. Is Tommy Widrington going to keep all his current forwards on and add another one to give Woking a different kind of a quandary? Here's Luca Woodhouse coming over halfway, leaves the ball now for James Henry. Henry finds Theo Widrington, who just has to skip to his right to get it under control. Now finds Aaron Jones, heavy touch from him. He goes down, referee plays, waves play on. Could have given a free kick. Josh Barrett running towards the edge of the penalty area, sends it out left to Ryan Jones. Jones up against his man, squares it. Barrett again on the edge of the area, trying to make room. He's just inside the penalty, tries a through ball, goes for the return from Woodhouse, and that is heavy too. The nerves are palpable here. Who can keep their heads? Who can see this one through? Can Woking see it out? Ellison is coming off. It's going to be a centre forward for a centre back. And Steve Gibbs, your thoughts now on the change of formation for Shots?
Yeah, I think it looks like it'll be a back four with Aaron Jones and Ryan Jones as more orthodox fullbacks, but of course, needs must, they will still be playing as wing backs. Aldershot Town, Kwame Thomas can be that new aerial fulcrum, really ask questions of this Woking defence that maybe haven't been asked already this afternoon, and then hopefully he can win the headers, win the knockdowns that will send Jack Barham scurrying clear. Aldershot Town though, at the moment, they're flat.
Yeah, here's Barham sending it forward down the right side. Kwame Thomas heads it into the path of James Henry. He twists and turns, does a full pirouette. The ball's in touch. It's a throw in to the Shots. Can they find the grandstand finish? From their point of view, we know the game will go to penalties if it's level at full time. There's a cross in from Henry over just about everybody, picked up by Ryan Jones on the edge of the box, sends it back in. That's headed away. Gorman will volley it forward. Woodhouse and Effiong will battle. Effiong just barges him out of the way. Tremendous recovery tackle from Luca Woodhouse to steer the ball away from Effiong. Effiong's up, he's going again. Theo Widrington arrows the ball out to the left hand side. It's cut out, but Kwame Thomas is onto the knockdown. Barrett's picked it up, edge of the area. He skips right, he's pulled down, is he? No. Rides the challenge. The ball runs clear to Hargreaves, who exchanges passes with Ryan Jones. Now Theo Widrington will pick it up. Ryan Jones can go one-on-one against Anderson. Cross to the far post. It's over everybody. But Aaron Jones is out there. He's going to send it back in again. And it's gone behind the line, the goal line. And it's out of play. So it'll be a goal kick to Woking. And again, Ian, Shots fluffing their lines when they get through to the final third.
Well, it's one of those things every manager says. Playing against 10 is not easy. Woking have done it 2 or 3 times this year, and only once have they been successful against Hartlepool. It's just like people defend deep, they snuff out, and you have to break them down, and that's the challenge that Aldershot are facing now.
Coming up to halfway again here, and more importantly, coming up to 72 minutes, 18 left. There's Walker all the way back there, cuts it out with his head and then clears it forward. Hargreaves can't quite get onto it. Armitage can. Now Hargreaves has got it. Squares it left to Widrington. Widrington to Barrett. Excuse me. Theo Widrington advances into the edge of the area. Wanders inside, looks to find Hargreaves. Hargreaves shoots. Claims for handball. And Aldershot Town have another penalty. Who's going to step forward? Who's going to be the man for the Shots? Tyler Frost took the penalty in the first half and it was saved by Jääskeläinen. Now they've got another throw at the other end. I think it's going to be James Henry. Who do you think, Steve?
James Henry.
Do you want to go? Yeah. Okay. 1-0 to Woking, down to 10. 17 minutes left, and James Henry at the moment has the ball. He's not interested in any shenanigans, any conversations with a player wearing an opposition shirt. It is Henry at the East Bank end. Woking 1-0 up, Shots with a chance to get level here. FA Trophy semi-final with 16 and a half minutes to go. At the East Bank end, James Henry against Will Jääskeläinen. He's already saved one. Referee now having a word with Tariq Hines, who's just doing his best to disrupt proceedings and elongate the time. Theo Widrington ushers Jääskeläinen away from Henry. Henry, calm, cool and collected, now takes a step back. The referee, Bannister, speaks to the players again about encroachment. Finally, the referee takes up a position, comes back and checks the ball. We're in the 75th minute now. Up steps James Henry and scores for the shots. He went the same way as Frost, and so did Jääskeläinen. But this time it was too powerful. James Henry levels it up for the shots. Aldershot 1, Woking 1. Steve Gibbs.
Who's the man you want in that situation? Nerves, not a bit of it. Delays, goalkeeper trying to delay the tactics. Not a bit of it. A man in front of us has just held up a sign. Keep calm and support the shots. I think that first element, not many people are doing that at the moment, but James Henry was. Brilliant penalty. Beat Jääskeläinen's dive, high to his right. 15 minutes left and injury time. Game on.
What drama we've got here at the EBB today as Lewis Walker, who put Woking ahead, now departs, and Aidan O'Brien, another player that's worn the red and blue of Aldershot Town, replaces him. What a grip for Aidan O'Brien. He went to a much higher level of the game, didn't he, of course, with Millwall. But now Woking have to go again and play it forward. He goes back to Dewhurst. Ian, something's up now from a Woking point of view. They've still got to see this one through to the end, but it's a different scenario now.
And if anyone's going to win in 90 minutes, you would be odds on Aldershot. But Woking we're hoping to stay on, maybe penalties, or maybe they'll catch that goal.
Well, after each of the sides scored, one flare was released. Yellow earlier for Woking, red now for Aldershot. More fines incoming, unfortunately, as far as that's concerned. But we're back where we started. We're all square. The only difference now being Woking have 10, more have 11. And there's a giveaway ball from Woodhouse. Pouncing onto it is Jermaine Anderson. Sends it inside to Widrington, who looks to find Barham. Woodhouse with a firm headed winner, but on halfway, Timmy Odesina has been fouled. Free kick to Woking on halfway, an opportunity to send up, probably for one of the rare occasions in the remainder of the game, centre backs. The game's still there for either side to win. Teams have won with 10 men before. Anybody who thinks it's done, think again. 13 minutes plus whatever's added. It's the Shots fans you can hear right now, but Woking are not done. They're not down. They're not dispirited. Still, they'll compete in this one. Jääskeläinen on halfway almost takes the free kick. It goes over everybody. A little bit of adrenaline possibly on it. A waste of a set piece for Woking. Dewhurst fetches the ball. And it will be a goal kick to the Shots, where here we've got 12 minutes left plus whatever's added. And this is just the start of our feast of football on BBC Surrey and Sussex this afternoon. Later on, we'll bring you full commentary and coverage of Brighton's away trip to Crystal Palace. That's a derby in itself. In this commentary box, we'd remember Venables, wouldn't we? And Mullery back in the day.
If they can match the atmosphere here, they'll be doing very well.
They will be doing well. We'll also get previews after this game from Gary Smith and John Barnett, who are following Crawley down at Stevenage. And somewhere inside or outside the ground, we'll speak to George Baines on Whiteleaf's second leg. Here's Woking still battling away for the ball over on the far side. Aldershot have won it though, through Armitage, and he advances forward 5-10 yards. He's still not been picked up. Sends it out to the left side. It will be left by Moss, who then hooks it acrobatically forward. Theo Widington prods it out to the left to Ryan Jones. He sends it up to Barham. Barham finds Henry. Henry's advancing towards the edge of the box. Squares it to Hargreaves. Hargreaves out wide to Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones sends in the cross. Knocked down. Barrett's got it just inside the area. He's bound to try a shot with the right foot. It's blocked. Half cleared. Followed up by Aaron Jones. Followed up again. A swing and a miss. And Woking have got the ball again. Jääskeläinen's got it again. A double chance for the shots. And Woking hold firm. Ian Nicholson.
Whatever happened there, I have no idea, except there are a lot of Woking bodies throwing themselves in, and Tommy Witherington apoplectic on the touchline. And now to the crowd, I think he's living every second of this.
Woking clear the lines, but it's going to come back again. Out to the left side it goes again. Barham, can he go one-on-one against Moss into the penalty area? He's going to the byline. Can he square it? He can. It's half cleared. Aldershot get a little touch on it. Barrett's got it. Follow-up shot is blocked from Ryan Jones with his right foot. The shot's pressing, pushing with every attack, with every pass, with every sinew. Jack Barham on the right side sends the ball in, headed away by Woking, but Aaron Jones will get there first. Woking must feel like Aldershot got twice as many shirts on there. Aaron Jones squares it. It's heavy. Barham back across the goal, and he'll head it straight to a Woking player. Now Effiong holds it up. Hargreaves gets a vital touch. Woodhouse sends it back in. 10 minutes to go. Good touch from Tariq Hines. Gets it out of his feet. Sends it down the left side. Armitage gets a header on it. It's slightly weak, but Dewhurst reads it. Thumps it up towards halfway. Headed winner from Gorman. Into space. Into touch. 81 minutes gone. What a game. What a situation. What an atmosphere.
And breathe.
And what a pair of commentators I got alongside me. Time for Ian Nicholson to take a rest and Steve Gibbs to have a say.
It took a penalty for Aldershot Town to get back into it and to breathe life into their afternoon, into their game, but since then they've set about justifying that equaliser. They're lifting it. They've had 5 or 6 shots in the last couple of minutes blocked, but again, that's huge credit to this Woking defence. Putting their bodies on the line.
Yeah, ball out to the right side, and Kwame Thomas is adjudged to have fouled. He's got the arms out wide as if to say, I didn't do anything, ref. But this referee is now refereeing Kwame Thomas similarly to how he has been Effiong at the other end, isn't he?
Yeah, you saw the pools there. I mean, I have to say Tariq Hines, I think, has been immense for Woking today, and he's not a natural left-sided player, but he's filled in at that problematic left-back position for Woking and done really, really well.
An exchange down the touchline between Neil Ardley and Tommy Witherington, and they now shake hands. Bassi was also involved. There's a flick on, the ball's in touch. It'll be a throw in to Aldershot in the defensive right back position. Witherington whistles his team. Get the tempo up, get the ball moving. He wants Aldershot to take advantage of the man extra in these 7.5 minutes. He doesn't want it to go to the lottery now of a penalty shootout, where we know Jääskeläinen's got form. Saved 1 out of 2 today. Here's a ball up to Barham. He chests it down, plays it forward, and good battling from Aidan O'Brien, but Woodhouse manages to manoeuvre it back to Dewhurst. Dewhurst plays it forward, only as far as Gorham. Gorham back up to Aidan O'Brien. He's given it away to Barrett. Barrett finds Hargreaves. Hargreaves out to the right-hand side. Witherington, Tommy gesticulates and points. Aaron Jones finds Henry. Woking prod it into touch again. Throw into Aldershot. 20 yards inside the Woking half. Taken early inside to Cameron Hargreaves. 7 minutes left, plus whatever referee Aaron Bannister adds on here. Aldershot Town 1, Woking 1. FA Trophy semi-final for the right to progress to Wembley, where Woking have history, where Aldershot have never been. Can they boldly go where they've never been before? Here is James Henry on the right side, sends the ball into Barrett. Barrett, close attention from Gorman, manages to turn, advances towards the end of the box, tries a left-footed shot. It's on target, is saved by Jääskeläinen. In truth, it wasn't a particularly difficult one, but it is an effort on that Woking goal from the shot's top scorer, Josh Barrett. Jääskeläinen still has the ball, kicks high now towards halfway. Cleared forward, and Tariq Hines has got it and plays it over the top. And a word from you, Ian Nicholson.
Yeah, it's very much Woking defending deep, occasional forays forward, but with no real fluency or impact, and then back into their defensive shape. challenging Aldershot to break them down.
Woodhouse with the ball forward is headed away, but only as far as Hargreaves. He finds Barrett. Barrett has another dipping effort, but it's always going wide. And Barrett now has had a shot blocked, a shot straight at Jääskeläinen and one wide, all inside the last 5 minutes. And the chances are coming. And Steve, the chances are going. Some decent ones in there, particularly the Barrett shot, followed up by Ryan Jones, but Woking just sticking bodies on the line now.
Yeah, Aldershot belatedly lifting it, rousing themselves for a grandstand finish, but huge credit to this Woking defence. Anything that Aldershot Town have thrown at them, apart from that second penalty, Woking have stood up and repelled.
Another foul given against Ini Effiong. His first couple of touches were good, but then he barged Armitage out of the way. Shots send it quickly down the left side. Ryan Jones is going to send an early ball into Thomas, who gets the little knockdown into the path of James Henry, who's scurrying out wide to get it. Faces up his man now. He's advancing towards the edge of the penalty area. Clips in a little ball. That's cut out. It's gone behind. Corner to the shots at the East Bank end.
Kwame Thomas there up against Tariq Hines for that long ball over, which Gutches Hines is a no contest really, but big corner coming in now for Aldershot.
Their fifth of the afternoon is coming as we enter the final 4 minutes of the 90. All square in goals. Woking a man down. In comes the corner from Ryan Jones, and the header is over the bar and wide from Will Armitage. Another chance comes and goes for the shots. Another opportunity for Woking to edge closer to full time with 10 men. A reminder, of course, that they scored when they had 10 men just 3 minutes after Harry Buteman was sent off. He couldn't believe it. Ian Nicholson alongside me couldn't believe it. None of us saw it, but the referee did, and he was bold and decisive with his actions. His decisive key actions this afternoon have been to give 2 penalties against Woking and a red card. Here's Woking though. O'Brien inside the penalty area tries to get a shot in. That's blocked by Luca Woodhouse. The first attempt of any sort since the 64th minute, and Effiong's dragged shot wide. 22 minutes have prevailed since the last goal-bound effort from Woking. They won't care if they can find a key moment in these last few minutes. Jack Barham comes over to take on board refreshment. Jamie Andrews is going to send in another long throw. Odesina's up there, Akinola's up there, and Effiong's up there. So too is Kwame Thomas, who manages to head it wide. Barrett feels he's fouled off the ball, but nothing's been given. Woking send it out to the right-hand side, and it will find touch.
Not much on there for Gorman, really. Tried to find a man, but really there was very little.
2-2 on Boxing Day. 1-1 here, but this is a very different kind of affair. Everything's on this one. The winner goes to Wembley, and the loser goes home with their tail between their legs, out of the FA Trophy with a chance to lift silverware. Gone. Aldershot play the throw all the way across the back. Aaron Jones now is going to send it long. He's going to be looking for the obvious threat of Kwame Thomas. He cushions a header down looking for Henry. I thought he was fouled there, but nothing's given. Woking player lays down on the floor. Ryan Jones has got it, sends it inside to Barrett. Barrett again advancing to the edge of the penalty area. Tries to play the ball into Thomas, but he gets that all wrong, and it's cleared away by Woking all the way through to Marcus Dewhurst. 1.5 minutes left. We are locked level at the EBB in front of more than 7,000 fans. Again, Woking head it clear. This time they find O'Brien, but Hargreaves has picked his pocket. Theo Widrington sends a ball into the area, headed away. Ryan Jones sends it across. Barrett can't get the vital touch. Woodhouse cushions a header into the path of Theo Widrington. He sends a diagonal ball in. It's headed by a Woking player behind. Another corner to the shots. Listen to the response all around the ground, other than that one corner at the far end of the East Bank and the open slab where 1,400 Woking fans wait and worry. Heads in hands, Aldershot with a corner. in the 90th minute. Josh Barrett to take 1-1. He's got Jones there if he wants him. He uses him. Jones is immediately dispossessed by Tariq Hines. Hines sends it forward, and Aldershot's corner has turned into a throw. A vital opportunity to get the ball right in to the heart of the action, where maybe, just maybe, they can put this one to bed before we go to penalties. But it's lock level at 1-1. We've got 10 seconds left. Ryan Jones is now setting up for a long throw. He takes it short though to Theo Widrington. He's going to send in a cross with his right foot. Henry with a header is slightly wide of the target, and oh my word, we are going to have a staggering 9 added minutes. Where has that come from, Ian Nicholson? 9 added minutes.
I'd be surprised if anyone else in the ground thought there was going to be 9 minutes. There's been no time wasting. There have been a few stoppages here and there, but that's a bizarre addition in my view. We're all agreeing maybe 5.
Yeah, 5 or 6 is what I expected. Here comes Aaron Jones and the ball down the right side. That one away by Woking, and Aidan O'Brien will get onto it as well, and he'll go 1-on-1 up against Luca Woodhouse, who times his tackle really well again. And this time the loose ball falls to Aaron Jones. Barham rises, but he can't win it. Hargreaves picks the ball up, and Aldershot are all a bit narrow. They've got 4 men down the middle, but here's Barrett spreading the ball out to Henry. Henry's going to advance forward. Is he going to try a shot from distance? He is, and that one doesn't only clear the goal, it lands on the roof of the East Bank. Steve, looking at the bench, have Aldershot got a final throw of the dice, or do you think they've got all the ball and the possession they need now? They just need to go and make and take a chance.
Yeah,
Kai Corbett mainly? Maybe.
Possibly, but who is it? Is it the sort of moment where you'd want to bring a player from scratch into a game? You kind of want players who are in that zone, who are match sharp, and I think Aldershot Town just need a moment to try and fashion a winner.
Here's Aidan O'Brien, who's well tackled by Woodhouse. The Woking fans don't agree. They don't think so. Armitage comes away with the ball and feeds Theo Widgerton, who feeds Hargreaves, who feeds Ryan Jones on the left side. He's going up against Anderson, finds Hargreaves again, gets the ball out of his feet, shot is cannoned away, fizzed away, cleared away by Woking, picked up by Armitage. He's got Hargreaves outside him, sends it inside to Theo Widrington, who finds Barrett again on the edge of the box. He sends it further left to Ryan Jones on the edge of the penalty area now. He's desperate to go on his left foot, and he does go on his left foot. Anderson tries to get the tackle in. Jack Barham in the 93rd minute on the end of Ryan Jones' cross. Has he headed Aldershot to where? Jackie on the spot, 2 or 3 yards out, rose like a salmon, buried the header, and the Shots take the lead with 6 minutes of added time left. Aldershot Town 2, Woking 1.
Absolute pandemonium on the East Bank. Brilliant from Ryan Jones. Tried to invite the tackle, and then when that wasn't coming in, broke for the byline, stood up, an absolutely teasing, delicious cross, and there was Jack Barham, Johnny on the spot. Never likely to win a header, but he so often does, and has he sent Aldershot Town to Wembley Stadium. There's still minutes left, it's not over yet, but what a brilliant header from close range, but he still had to win it. He still had to nip in between 1 or 2 Woking players, and he's the man. He's done it. Now can the Shots hold out against the 10 men?
A yellow card.
Altercations on the Aldershot Town bench. Tommy Widrington has picked up a yellow card.
I don't know.
He doesn't know why. Maxi Mullins is about to come on. Possibly Kai Corbett as well. Oh,
so fresh legs into the fray.
Pandemonium around us, but the Shots are ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. Fresh legs into the fray for Shots. For Woking, and there's only one way left now. They've got to throw caution to the wind They've got to throw bodies forward, and they've got 4.5 minutes to score a goal.
Yeah, probably a little bit added, but they've really got to dig deep. And that was a rather silly free kick, I would say, to give away for Aldershot.
Yeah.
No danger whatsoever, and it gives them a chance to put the ball into the mixer, as they say.
Kai Corbett is going to come on for Theo Widrington. And Josh Barrett says, come on, Shots fans, get behind your team. We've battled so hard. We've come from behind. Standing ovation for Theo Widrington as he comes off in some discomfort, in a lot of discomfort. But he's ploughed his way through 95 minutes. Jack Barham may have scored the goal that takes Aldershot Town to Wembley. He comes off and he's replaced by Max Mullins. And now Aldershot have some defending to do from this free kick on halfway from Jääskeläinen. No clear winner. Can Aldershot get it? Now cleared. Picked up by Gorman. Gorman sends it out to Anderson. Anderson sends it back in. Shot over the bar from Dan Moss. And you'll know from the cheers from the Shots fans why and where that went. Moss with a frantic attempt there. Can they create one more chance? They've got 3 minutes, Ian. 3 minutes to keep up that proud Cards FA Trophy history.
Yeah, and it's a mountain to climb for Woking, and we've said that a number of times this year, and they've often climbed it, but this looks like quite possibly Mount Everest in these last few minutes.
This is Aldershot, Ian. Goal kick.
Also Woking.
Yeah. Goal kick to Aldershot, taken by Dewhurst. One in the air by Tariq Hines, sent back by James Henry, volleyed up in the air by Kwame Thomas, headed on by Henry, out to the right side. Even the fresh legs of Kai Corbett can't keep that in. It'll be a throw in to Woking. Aldershot Town are now 2 added minutes as a minimum away from where they've never been before, where Woking have been before and never lost. There's a foul on halfway on Josh Barrett. Free kick given to him. He's stayed down. He may or may not need treatment. Theo Widrington's come off and he was in agony. But now we've got something else going on the touchline. I'm not quite sure what that is, but the physio team diverted to the attentions of something else going on somewhere. I'm not sure as to what that is. Back underway on halfway. Aaron Jones pings the ball out to the left side. It goes straight into touch and offers Woking a throw in from their own defensive free kick. A poor moment there, a poor choice. Dan Moss to take the throw. 1 or 2 yellow-shirted supporters disappearing. Why would you leave at this stage? Knockdown, Effiong's got it, plays the ball into Andrews is well forward. Anderson sends it in, half cleared as far as Gorman. Gorman sends the ball into the far post, caught underneath his bar by Marcus Dewhurst. We have 1 minute and 40 seconds left. Shots in possession. Up to halfway now with James Henry. Mullins points where he wants it. Stumbles over does the Woking defender. Mullins continues his run. He didn't hear that the whistle had gone. He's going to get shown a yellow card for his troubles. And Woking have a free kick, which Will Jääskeläinen is going to take. 1 minute 15 seconds left. Aldershot close. So close to Wembley. Hargreaves hooks the ball over his head. Henry sends it forward. Tariq Hines volleys it back in. Huge header from Kwame Thomas. 2 Woking players end up on the floor. One of them is prone. The referee has to stop the play. What a leap from Kwame Thomas. I've not seen a leap like that in years, Steve.
No,
he won the ball cleanly, but I think as he came down, he made contact with the Woking player.
Yeah, but what a header. Cometh the man, cometh the hour, cometh whatever. Kwame Thomas leapt out, jumped 2 Woking players there. We'll now have stoppage time at the end of stoppage time, while quite rightly the Woking player receives treatment. He's splat his back.
We're already into that.
Shots seconds away. They've not been at their best this afternoon, but they've found a way.
Absolutely, that's Steve Gibbs. Alongside him is Ian Nicholson. When we get restarted, I think this referee's going to do a drop ball here, as opposed to drop it into Aldershot's possession. And Barrett is now going to be shown, Cameron Hargreaves is shown a yellow card for dissent at that decision. Chaos here, but we're on the verge of even bigger chaos if that final whistle goes and greets a first ever appearance at Wembley for Aldershot Town, but it's not done yet. We're now into the 101st minute. If you wanted drama, this was the place to be. Aldershot with a penalty, first half, saved. Woking down to 10. Woking take the lead, and then Aldershot get level. And Effiong hits the ball over the bar. What a chance for Ini Effiong. The final whistle has gone. That was the last chance.
No, it's not over.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Josh Barrett's gone celebrating at the other end, but it's not all over. It's a goal kick to the shots. Referee signals time is not up. Finally, Josh Barrett gets word that the final whistle hasn't gone. Some people are on the pitch. They think it's all over. It's not. And now, the referee now has to wait for the supporters to get off the pitch. Crazy situation here.
And we now have a pitch invasion.
Pitch invasion, but the fans don't realise they need to get off the pitch. Some of them running over to berate the Woking fans. This game is not done. We've had all sorts of drama, and still we don't see the finishing line. Looking at the scoreboard away to my right, 102 minutes are about to elapse. The game is not over, and they're appealing for it to come over on the announced to the supporters that it's not over. What a crazy state of affairs as the crowd are now addressed. The shot supporters not able to contain their excitement. Something very similar happened against Aldershot in a penalty shootout in the playoffs up at Carlisle. They weren't the nicest of scenes. Let's just settle ourselves here. 102 and a half minutes gone, and Aldershot Town have a goal kick. The referee, once the stewards are certain that everybody's back where they should be, will signal a restart in play. Seconds, presumably after that, the final whistle will go. The Shots lead 2-1. They've come from behind against 10 men. They've had 2 penalties. They've scored 1. They've missed 1. Jack Barham has put them ahead in the 93rd minute. That's how things stand. Now the goal kick comes forward. No indication that the referee is going to blow for full time. The ball finds touch. It's a throw-in to Woking. Now the Shots fans won't give the ball back. Eventually it comes back. Dan Moss ready to restart play with this throw-in. Down the line, Ryan Jones wins the header. Josh Barrett leads the counter-attack. He pays it out to the right-hand side, but it's well read by Akinola. Akinola goes back to Jaskalainen, who picks the ball up, and it's an offside given against Aldershot. So
and everyone going forward.
Jaskalainen is going to take the kick. Referee allows more play on. Luca Woodhouse wins the ball in the air. Theo Gorham sends it towards touch. Jones sends it down the line. Tariq Hines is onto the ball, sends it into the area. A jump and a miss from Jamie Andrews, but Aidan O'Brien's chasing the ball. Back heels it. Aaron Jones plays it off of Well, a free kick is given to Aldershot, and we are in the 105th minute of 99. Yes, it's bonkers, but that's what we've got here on our hands this afternoon at the EBB. The shot's seconds away from where they've never ever been, to where fans of 50, 60, 70 and 80 years old have dreamt their team would go to, and now they're agonisingly seconds away. Horrible moments for Woking and Woking supporters as well, and for Ian Nicholson alongside me, are waiting to be put out of their misery, but still waiting and wondering if they can still get something in this game. There is the final whistle. Aldershot Town 2, Woking 1, and the shots are going to Wembley. Happy days blares out over the tannoy system. People don't know what to do now. They were advanced with their celebrations, but please, Steve Gibbs, from an Aldershot Town point of view, sum this one up.
They never do things the easy way, but finally, the Phoenix ball. Pull yourself together, man. Finally, Aldershot Town, the Phoenix will rise over Wembley. And that is what it means to so many people. They weren't at their best today, but they have found a way. There are people on the pitch, and it definitely is over.
All right,
huge credit to Woking for what they've done this afternoon, but it's Aldershot Town who somehow prevail.
Thank you very much, Steve Gibbs and Ian. I can't think of a better question really than just describe how you're feeling right now, because for every winner there's a loser, and today it's Woking. How are you feeling?
Well, it's a mixture really. Being next to Steve, I just want to congratulate Aldershot. I think it's a great day for any club to Wembley, so I can see how much that means to the fans. For Woking fans and for the Woking team, they gave their all. The turning point would definitely have been the sending off, and I'd love to see that back again. But Woking then got their noses in front and looked like they were holding on, but a really well taken goal for Aldershot, and then it was really mayhem at the end. I mean, no one knew what was going on. I mean, how we got 9 minutes, how we got all the different shenanigans at the end, but at the end, Aldershot come out victors. Congratulations, well done to them. Commiserations to Woking. We press on. Oldham on Tuesday, and survival in this league is now our priority, and probably always was, but well done Aldershot.
Ian, thank you so much for articulating in agony, which is I guess what you're doing right now. Listeners won't know this, but Steve and Ian and I, we shook hands like the managers before the game, didn't we? And we've shaken hands afterwards. And when this is all over, one or two people might even have a hug. But now, this is the scene we've got. We've got Woking fans, understandably, a lot of them want to pay tribute to their side, and they're having to wait to do so. Some others are disappearing, but there's a full-scale pitch invasion here, and a little bit of chaos really now after the game, because Aldershot Town supporters don't know what to do. They've never been here before, and it's got to sink in. While it sinks in, we'll go and preview some of our other action that's coming up in this wonderful sports show this afternoon. If you think this one's big, there's a bigger one to come between Palace and Brighton. We've got Crawley still battling survival against Stevenage, and we'll also hear how Whiteleaf do on their second leg of their FA Vars semi-final. Can they join the shots at Wembley on non-league finals day? I was speaking to our producer, if you can hear me, Sophia. We're going to cross now to Gary Smith and John Barnett to give us a little preview of Crawley's game at Stevenage. Stay on the air, listeners.
Thank you so much, Rob. A very good afternoon from the Lamex Stadium. It is a glorious day here, but the drama at the EBB Stadium, goodness me, John and I have been tuned into the last 10 or 15 minutes of that one. Congratulations to Aldershot, commiserations to Woking. But John Barnett summarising with me this afternoon, our focus is on this League One fixture here, and Crawley need to look to bounce back from that heartbreaking defeat on Tuesday evening.
They do, yeah. I mean, what a night that was, and you just wonder if that was a pivotal night, because I think everyone expected Bristol Rovers to lose to Birmingham. They did, albeit late on, and of course Northampton lost as well. So he felt that was the night, was it, where Crawley could have cut the deficit by another 3 points, got it down to 3 points. Sadly, it wasn't fair. Let's be honest, it looked like it was going to end in a draw, so they've only cut it down to 5 anyway. But you just hope there's no psychological damage there. Scott seems to, you can just tell by the performances, Scott does seem to have got them playing with a bit of freedom despite their position. I'm sure he hasn't gone in there and said, well, we're down already, so just enjoy the rest of the season. Somehow he's taken away the pressure, it seems. They've played with freedom, they played very well. It's been a big improvement. But yeah, today, again, you look at the other fixtures around them, there's some that will hopefully go their way. They'll be thinking, looking at the teams who they've got. Crawley will have to do the business today as well, just as they did away from home last Saturday.
It was always going to be 6 big games, wasn't it, after Tuesday, regardless of the result on Tuesday. Perhaps just gives a little more edge now, doesn't it, into the 6 games that are left. Starting here this afternoon, obviously going to Birmingham on Good Friday, Orient come next week. They're not easy games, but the way that Crawley are playing, they look winnable. And just look at the side today, John. Just one change. It's a straightforward swap. Dion Conroy coming in, Josh Flint out injured, which is a bit of a blow. But Dion Conroy is obviously someone that Scott knows very well. Straight back in the side and take back the armband as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's strange, isn't it, to be thinking about, the captain's back in as anything other than a positive. But yeah, fans will be thinking, Josh Flynn just back for a couple of games, which is a shame. And let's hope that injury's not too severe. Maybe Scott's got the option to not risk him because Dion Conroy's back, you'd hope. Look at it that way, maybe. But a blow not to have Josh Flint. He's been excellent for Crawley this season. But good to see Dion back. I don't think we were sure when he was going to come back. So it's a bonus to see him back this afternoon. But as you say, in terms of games to go, it was that 7 out of 9, wasn't it, Scott talked about when he came in? Well, that's now 5 out of 6 it's going to have to be. Crawley have kind of had one of their, what's the word, they've had one of their, not freebies because it wasn't, but they've had one of their slips, so it's got to be 5 out of 6. You probably say, well, okay, they probably won't win at Birmingham on Good Friday, so that means they've got to win today and next Saturday.
Absolutely. A huge 6 games to go for Crawley Town, starting here in the sunshine at the Lamex Stadium this afternoon. John and I will have all the action and all the updates for you throughout the course of the afternoon, but we will now hand you back to what I'm sure is an absolutely joyous scene at the EBB Stadium, where Aldershot have beaten Woking in the semi-final of the FA Trophy. Back to you, Rob.
Thank you very much, Gary. Have a great afternoon yourselves. I'm witnessing scenes that we've never seen in my living memory here at Aldershot Town at the EBB, because quite frankly they've never been in this situation before, and they have stood on the precipice of this so many times. Quarterfinals have come and gone, a couple of semi-finals have come and gone. Today they've made it their day, they've created history. While we try and open up some post-match reaction, we're going to have a word with George Baines, who is at Whiteleaf, where Whiteleaf hold a 2-goal lead in the second leg of the FA Vase, and they'll be trying to join Aldershot Town at Wembley on the 11th of May. So, George, tell us how it's all looking down at Whiteleaf.
Indeed, Rob. I have to say, I'm feeling so much affection for you right now. The end of that game sounded absolutely tremendous. Let's hope, listeners, that we can see myself and hear some scenes like what we've just heard at Aldershot Town this afternoon later on, and make it a double at Wembley later on next month. But yes, quite rightly, welcome along to Andover New Street. It's Foxcott Park as it's known here, for this hugely anticipated second leg. Both sides that we've spoken about have been on their best ever runs in this competition, and also doing as well as they ever have in the league. Leaf currently sitting 3-1 up from that exhilarating first leg last week. It started very slowly last week. Myself and Bob Patworth were down there, but then very soon, after 20 minutes or so, Leaf getting that 2-goal lead, and then Charlie Postant's, well known to listeners, getting one back early in the second half for Andover, and they stayed that way right to the very end until Daniel Bennett, who'd got the opener in that game, got the second of the match and his 21st of the season to make it, at the moment, Whiteleaf 3-1 ahead. Last week's, as I say, got off to a cagey affair. This game might be a little bit different. Leaf still involved themselves in 3 competitions, and Andover, they're also in the playoffs at the same level. Boss Kelly Waters is keeping calm and said to me after last week he expects Andover to be more adventurous today, given they need to get the 2 goals back. It should be said that Leaf haven't conceded 3 goals without reply at all season, so if Andover were to do that today, that would be a first. They've also, Leaf only lost 1 match by 2 goals, and that was a 5-3 defeat away at Kingstonian in the Surrey Cup. It could go to penalties today. Kelly said that they'll do everything in their power not to. Obviously at Aldershot we nearly heard that, Rob, but yeah, if it is level here after 90 minutes we would go straight to penalties. Whiteleaf don't want that. Sure, Jamie Coleman certainly prepared for that, but they'd rather not. And I think the one to watch here today and listen in for is Charlie Postant's, well known to listeners. He had the effect last week. 1,300 at least expected here, 1,350 here at Foxcott Park. It's all ready for a cracker as well.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you so much to George Baines. Now, whichever side have progressed today, we got somebody key to that club ready to come and talk to us. And the person who's alongside me now wouldn't be alongside me now if Woking had prevailed, but he knew his orders and he's here. And it is the club's co-founder, Graham Brookland. Graham, you're the same age as me. You've supported Aldershot Town for 50 odd years, and this has never happened before. Discuss.
Well, Rob, when Aldershot Town was formed in 1992, there were 2 dreams. One dream was to get to the Football League, and we did that. Unfortunately, didn't stay there as we should have done. But the other one was always to get to Wembley. It's a lifelong dream for so many fans.
Bear with me, Graham. We're going to change microphones. Okay. Sorry. Hold that one right.
Yep.
Go for it. Sorry. Start again, please.
Yeah, sure. When Aldershot Town was formed, Rob, in 1992, there were two tasks. One was to get to the Football League, and we managed to do that. Unfortunately, we didn't stay there as long as we wished we had. And the other one was to play at Wembley. And we've been so close on a number of occasions. We've had great opportunities. Think you're going to get there, and it never quite happened. And today, it all has. And I've never seen this stadium like this. The raucous atmosphere, the celebrations, the relief, the atmosphere. It was building before the game. We always thought we had a chance today. But the script, you would never have
You
worked
would never dream it.
You would never have worked the script. And to see the pouring of at the end of this game from long-standing fans, young and old, everybody, the togetherness, what we have here shows how special this football club can be when it's in its primary. And it's in its primary today, and it's fantastic to see. But today is a day of celebration. The players became heroes today. There'll be legends at Wembley if they win, and you know as well as I do that the town and the surrounding areas will go in numbers to Wembley. We've never been there. It's been a dream for so many, and we will make the most of it. Today is a day of celebration.
How good was it to feel this place, the atmosphere bursting at the rafters today? And Graham, for the first time in many, many years, the big occasion came. The fans packed out the ground. And finally the team delivered.
The team delivered, and of course it was a bit of an adversity really, because of course we had the missed penalty, and then in the second half us ending off, and you think you're in the ascendancy, then Woking go and score, and then all of a sudden you think this might not happen. And there were times as that game went on today that you're thinking it's going to be another one of those occasions when it doesn't happen. But this team is resilient. The manager has got a blend of togetherness, and he's been proven right on so many occasions when I think sometimes you think, that's not going to happen, not quite sure about that. But he's come through it every time. And I think we should understand as well, we've got a manager that 4 months ago had a double stroke. So to come back into this environment, which is high pressure at all times, to come into a game like this, I think full testament to the courage of Tommy and what he has achieved as manager with his management staff. And he's blended this team together over the last few weeks to steer away from the relegation zone. Do you know what? This is what it's all about. Going to Wembley, Aldershot Town. The name of Aldershot will be at Wembley for the first time. 99 years on a new club, never been there, and we will soak that occasion and we will make the most of it. And it's just a dream come true, and it is, and it's an emotional day, and for so many people. But do you know what? I'm thinking at the moment, I'm looking at all these people here and what it means to them. I'm also thinking of so many people that would have loved to be at this occasion that are no longer with us, that have played their part in this football club and did so much for this football club over the years. They would love to be here today. Sadly, we've lost them, but we must always remember those people, and this club collectively can be a fantastic football club when everybody is together. Today everybody's together on and off the pitch, and this is what it's resulted in, and we're going to Wembley.
Wonderful. Graham Brooklyn, club co-founder of Aldershot Town. Go and enjoy the celebrations. That's about it here from the EBB. I think we could probably produce a radio programme for the next couple of hours too, but we got bigger fish to fry. We got Crystal Palace against Brighton coming up, and to that end I'm going to hand you back now to the BBC Sussex side. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. It's Aldershot that prevail, and Aldershot that are going to Wembley.
This Crystal Palace outfit.
I can feel it, and I think it's also our responsibility to give them something back. So in the first derby, we went on our highest level. We didn't gave the fans what they deserve, and I think tomorrow it's opportunity for us and also our responsibility to make it better than the last time.
Managers always say that they treat every game like each other, but is there a little bit of extra preparation when you go into a derby, or some words that you give the players, a bit more motivation?
No, I think there's already a big motivation because it's the final third of the season. It's about achieving something, it's about winning something now, and every game is and will be important, and therefore the motivation is very high. We will go all in. We try to win this game for our fans. We try to bounce back after the setbacks. That's what we always did this season so far, and that's what's inside of our team, what shows always the character from our team, and tomorrow we will prove it again.
And does the match tomorrow take on even more significance following the results of the last two games, or does the fixture itself build it up enough for the players? That's
what I tried to say before. It's not about focusing on the past, so the things that happened in the past, there were positive, negative things, we can't influence them anymore. The only thing is about tomorrow. Focus on the present, focus on today, how we can prepare. We should prepare the most professional we can so that we are ready for tomorrow, and then it's about using and seeing this opportunity tomorrow as a big challenge, and not try to be cramped, not try to force it. Enjoy this challenge tomorrow. Enjoy to play for our fans. Enjoy to bounce back after a setback. And like I said before, we had several setbacks this season so far. It's about sticking together. It's about being positive now, having a great energy in this club, and then try to go all in, and that's what we try to do tomorrow.
And in terms of Crystal Palace specifically, they're having a really great season, albeit below you in the Premier League. What do you make of them so far? One of the best teams in transition, one of the best teams in set pieces. So I think that's their main threat. They have a clear style of play. They press high, they press intense, they are a physical team. They are quite good, like I said, in transition, so we have to pay attention.
You've spoken about the sort of the blue and the red side of kind of going into games. Is this the classic game where you have to get the balance between the red and the passion and the intensity, and the blue and the cool and the focus? Yeah, exactly. I think that's very important for tomorrow, but also to understand that we have a responsibility for our fans. So
we don't want to have this feeling like we had the last game, so the game before against Palace again, with this feeling of being disappointed. So there can be a little bit emotions of anger, emotions of making it better than the last time. So it also brings something to your body, and I think that's very important to understand this as well. But then, like you said, it's about having a good balance during the game to make the right decisions.
They've got a very impressive defensive record. I think it's 6 clean sheets in the last 8 Premier League games. How difficult is it going to be to break down that? I know they defend as a team, but what challenges does that present for you?
They're very physical, especially in the last line. They defend with a back 5, so the distances between each other is very compact. They have like clear triggers when to attack. Everyone defends. Everyone has the mindset to defend. They're the team, one of the best teams in the league who close the middle quite in an effective way. So it's not that easy to play through the block. So it's about finding other solutions, and therefore the most important is being patient, because if you try to force it, you will give them like opportunities to win the ball in areas they want to win the ball, and then they can attack with their transition players, and therefore you have to be very patient and try to find the right gaps.
That's Fabian Herzler. Wonderful atmosphere building at Selhurst Park. 4 live commentaries online and here on your local station. Welcome back to our Surrey listeners. Congratulations to Aldershot off to Wembley for the first time in their history. Sussex 528 all out. Warwickshire beginning their reply. You can hear ball-by-ball commentary on that one on the BBC Sport website. But Adrian will hear from him. Crawley, Eastbourne Borough at half-time. But without further ado, Warren Asamoah, the former Albion striker, alongside Johnny Cantor at Selhurst Park for Premier League action. Over to you, Johnny.
Yes, welcome to South London.